Do you feel like you always go into a talking stage relaxed and ready to allow that man to pursue you, only to end up desperately chasing after him in the end? Isn't it confusing and frustrating how you end up doing everything for a relationship that you never intended to do in the first place? Well, what if I told you that's because men are experts at tricking you into chasing them while simultaneously giving you nothing in return? Which is why on today's show, we're going to be discussing all the signs you need to know that a man is baiting you into chasing him. That way, as soon as he begins to play these tricks on you to get you to do the most, you already know how to scale back your time, energy, and attention so you don't waste it on him. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. All right, so I want us all to be on the same page. Someone said, is it a roast? No. Point number one is about proving yourself. Now, this is a great bait tactic for men because when they can get you in this mindset's very important. He can already set the table for you to take certain actions that you wouldn't ordinarily take unless you were in this mind frame. Okay, now I had to label this because I don't know if some of you would realize what this is, but it's a trophy here. And the reason I drew this trophy is because there's certain words and rhetoric that a man will use on you in order to get you in prove it mode, where you feel like it's necessary for you to show him something in order for you to be seen as a worthy partner to him. Okay, so let me give you an example of that, what that would be like. Okay, let's say he says, oh, the type of girl I want in my life is a girl who would text me 24/7 every 5 minutes, right? So in the process of this, right, you're looking at this trophy, and this trophy here really represents being a wife, okay? That's the ultimate trophy that you're trying to get towards. So when you meet a guy that you like, and he starts telling you about his criteria for a wife, and he starts telling you how his expectation for a wife is that she'll text him every 5 minutes, right? You start to anticipate, well, if that's the case, I'm going to have to do these certain things the way that he wants them done and work for him in order to get to this trophy, which is being his wife. But here's the thing about that. When you get into this mindset where you think that it's necessary for you to prove yourself to him in order to get access to him, or in order for you to date him, or in order for him to take you seriously, now we're fighting a losing battle. Because once you get into prove it mode as a woman, it's very easy to start getting you to chase the entire relationship. Because instead of you theoretically chasing after himself, like the person, you're chasing after this outcome, okay? So here's the trick about it. He's getting you to prove yourself, not necessarily even directly to him. He's getting you to prove yourself to this trophy, which in this case is to be worthy of being a wife. I want you to come in, even though we talk about wifey elements and the ways men will test you, I want you to come in having already understood that you've worked on yourself enough to be worthy of being a wife. Hopefully you have been doing that and been investing in yourself. But what I don't want is for you to change any elements of what we want you to be doing in order for you to attract men and get them to pursue you in order to be more of what he says he wants. Because here's the real trick of the prove yourself mantra for men. Anytime they ask you to prove yourself, majority of the time, whatever they're asking you to do won't actually really be about being a better wife. It'll really be about serving him in a way that's more advantageous to him. For example, the 5-minute text, I'll put it here so you guys don't forget it, right? The 5-minute texter, or you becoming a textaholic where you reach out to him any time of the day, no matter what you're doing, right? It seems like, okay, well, harmless. I'll make sure I do that work so I can get that trophy. But in reality, as you're proving yourself that way, you're not doing anything that actually benefits you. You're not even proving anything to him, aside from the fact that you're willing to bend over backwards in any way, shape, or form to get to this outcome, to get to this trophy. And then once you start doing that, it's very easy to transition you into doing more and more extreme things to try and get you to prove yourself to him. You're supposed to be the one receiving his pursuit. You're supposed to be the one receiving him and deciding for yourself based on how good or horrible of a man he is, whether you want to allow him to continuously have access to you. But you want to know how you stop thinking like that? The moment you start thinking about how you're going to prove yourself to him. Now he's got you right where he wants you. You won't be thinking about how horrible of a human he is, how useless of a man he is, how broke he is, if you're the one thinking about how you need to prove yourself to him, okay? So let's hop into point number 2, okay? I thought my trophy was not bad, okay? Chat, what would you rate the trophy 1 to 10 that I just drew, okay? I thought it was not bad. That was freehand. Usually if I draw something a bit complex, I have to think about it beforehand. I didn't think about the trophy, how I was gonna draw that. So that was like off the cuff. That was some real artsy stuff there, arts and crafts, you know. Let's hop into point number 2. Okay. Now, point number 2 is also very interesting because I know that it happens to a lot of you. So let's imagine on a big, we'll put a big, large phone here. A big, large phone. Large phone. Okay. We got the iPhone Super Pro Extra Max here. Now, we're going to have him here. And we'll just say he says something like this. And then we have you here. And we'll say you're like this. And then we'll have him here. Okay, so I want to explain something to you, and I want to give you this example to just kind of crystallize it in your mind. Point number 2 is about engagement and how guys will get you to engage while simultaneously leaving you hanging, okay? So I've given just a simple example of someone texting you, for example, and the guy says, hey, guess what? Guess what happened to me? Guess what I did? Guess where I am? Guess what in general? And you're obviously going to be curious, well, what is it? You're asking me, guess what? I don't know what it is. Is this a surprise? Is it something you did? Did you cheat on me? Are you making me your wife? Are you proposing? What is the thing? And then he replies with nothing, like literally doesn't say anything to you. And you're sitting there like, wait, what is it? Tell me what it is. What's going on? What are you doing? What are you saying? What are you trying to tell me? What is it that we have? What's the thing? And so this is an example of how guys will engage with you, whether it be through text or whether it be even through conversation. And they'll engage with you in a way that piques your interest, and piques your interest just enough that when they walk away or when they stop talking to you or when they don't respond to you or when they don't reply to you, now you're like, wait a second. No, tell me. I need to know. I need to understand more. And it forces you to lean in. There's like a psychological element to that. But especially in a romantic relationship, when a guy is trying to engage you and then leave you hanging, we don't want you to respond to that at all, okay? In fact, I just want you to leave it right where it is. I know it's tempting, and I know when guys do things like this, you're really, because for some of you, you hate the mystery of not knowing, and you really want to get to the bottom of it. You want to kind of solve the mystery, so to speak, but you have to let it go. You have to let go of the feeling of desire to uncover what that mystery is, especially when a guy will engage with you, whether it be over text or over the phone, and just kind of leave you hanging, right? Because these are the type of things that once they happen on a regular enough basis, it drives you just crazy enough that you start feeling like it's necessary for you to take matters into your own hands in order to get your answers. And the problem with that, someone just said it in the chat, the problem with that is it can send you down a rabbit hole. It can send you down the proverbial spiral where when you start saying to yourself, I don't give a damn, I want answers and I need to figure out what it is, you're not gonna engage me and just leave me hanging, you'll go down a spiral where as you do more to try and get more answers and solve this mystery, you'll begin doing more, I should say, extreme things to try and get to the bottom of this answer because you've spent so much time trying to get to the bottom of this answer. So that's how you kind of spiral out of control, and you can even spiral into like what we can call a crash out moment, right? We'll put you here at the end, right? A crash out moment And what a crash out moment essentially is where you just go crazy on him and explode on him because you've done so much work trying to get to the bottom of this, trying to understand the situation, trying to understand why he did this thing, why he left you hanging, why he hasn't given you answers in this way. And now that you're fed up with the fact that you haven't gotten answers, you just go crazy on him. Okay? Mistake. The best thing to do, and I know it's hard, okay? I know that it's not easy because we're talking about it on the show. I know it's your emotions involved. But the best thing to do whenever you have a guy try to engage you, whether it be in a good or bad way, because this guess what doesn't always mean a good thing. Sometimes the guess what comes in a way where it's like, oh, something happened and he just leaves you hanging or whatever the case may be. And you really want to get to the bottom of it. You really want to understand more. The best thing for you to do is let it go from the start and not allow yourself to begin the spiral. Because once you start the spiral of going down that rabbit hole of saying, I need answers now and I better get those answers in the next 5 minutes, you'll lose control and you'll spiral out of control and you'll start doing and saying things that make you look way crazier than you actually are. I know you're not that crazy. Okay, I know you're not that crazy. All right, let's move on to our third point. All right. I know you're not that crazy. You that crazy? Tell me, scale of 1 to 10 in the chat. Be honest with me. We're friends, okay? We don't have to lie to each other. Scale of 1 to 10 on the chat. How crazy is your crazy? 1 to 10. Don't lie to me, okay? Don't lie to me. I want to know the truth, okay? How crazy is your crazy? This show should help deal with your craziness, okay? How crazy is yours crazy on a scale of 1 to 10? I probably say mine's like I'm not that crazy. I'm not that crazy. I see some people saying 11. Damn, y'all, some 11s. 10s? Okay, 200. 9, okay, 250. Damn, y'all crazy. Okay, y'all crazy. Yeah. All right, let's hop in point number 3. Oh, y'all, I know y'all hate this. Okay. I'll draw this out like this so we can be on the same page. Like that. Not gonna be a perfect 7-day-a-week calendar, chat, okay? Just don't be worried about all them type of details, okay? Listen to my message. All right, here. Make sure my eraser or my dry erase marker are doing its job. Okay, right? So, right? Point number 3. So I said, yo, damn, you 1,000,000% crazy. Okay. Point number 3 is about future talk. Now, I'm not talking about the musician Future, the rapper Future. I'm talking about future talk from the standpoint of how guys will do this thing. Let me just explain it. Let's say you have a Monday here, right? This is Monday. And on Monday, he says, look, I really, really love spending time with you. And today is Monday here, but I love spending so much time with you and I love being around you so much that next Tuesday, I really, really, really want to go on a sushi date with you, okay? So we'll put here X equals sushi date. And he says, yeah, this sushi date, we're going to do this next Tuesday. Oh, we're going to go out. You haven't had sushi like this before. We're not just going to any regular old sushi spot. We're going to the Michelin star sushi spot in my city downtown, okay? For me in Toronto, there's this place called Akriaback. Akriaback? Yeah. Yeah, Akriaback. It's a Japanese spot. Amazing sushi, okay? We're going to this Michelin star sushi spot, me and you. We're going to enjoy it. I've never been there. I know you've never been there. Oh, our socks are going to be knocked off. And you're like, oh, I love sushi. Sushi's my favorite. I can't wait till Tuesday when we go on our sushi date. So exciting. And this is the problem. Okay, as he talks about this future experience of what's to come, then you have Monday happens, okay? Or sorry, Monday happens, and then Tuesday happens, Wednesday happens, Thursday happens, the entire week happens, and when you finally get to Tuesday, when you guys are supposed to go out on this date, he hasn't really confirmed with you any time or date or even location where you guys are actually meeting. He's just talked about a sushi spot, but there's multiple sushi spots that you guys could possibly go to. There's multiple franchises that you could go to that are all kind of close. You don't really know exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it. And so now you're on the Tuesday and you're asking yourself, wait a second. I don't have answers here. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know when we're going. I don't even know if I should still be getting ready. This is a very dangerous place to be in because now you feel like, but we have a sushi date planned for Tuesday. And it sounded so amazing and so good. And I feel like I really want to go on this sushi date. I feel like if I don't say anything, there's a possibility we might never go out on this sushi date. So now you start to experience a little bit of FOMO that you might not be able to enjoy this awesome sushi date because you guys didn't confirm the time and the place. When really it was his job when he brought it up to confirm the time and the place with you. Now, this is where the bait happens because now that he's given you this exciting idea of the sushi date to come, one day of the month where you guys are going to spend time with each other, you're going to have the most amazing sushi. It's going to go right to in between your legs and you're going to be so stimulated. You're going to feel so good. Now that you already have that in your mind, you feel like you need to chase after him in order to extract that experience. So in a weird way, he's now dangled the possible experience in front of you in order to get you to lean forward and say, oh, the sushi date, I want this, I want this, I want the sushi date, right? And that's the thing. That's part of the psychology. They entice you with something that they know you want. You know you like going to Nobu, don't you? You want to go for shisha? You like shisha? And when they entice you with an experience that they know you would want to go to, that they know you would want to be a part of, they know that they can use that. Let's say they don't follow through with that. Or let's say they're very hot and cold with that experience. Or let's say they don't confirm with you about that experience. Now, all of a sudden, that experience is what you're chasing after. But because he's the one that promised you that experience, you end up chasing after him in the process of chasing after that experience. So what must you do in that scenario where he promises you the sushi date on Tuesday? He doesn't reach out to you or let you know any time, location, place, or setup of how you guys are actually going to go through with the sushi date on Tuesday. You say nothing. I know it's hard. I know it's painful. I know you're going to say to yourself, but Tomisin, I'm not going to be able to go on the sushi date if we don't confirm. Yes, you're not going to be able to go on the sushi date if you don't confirm. But the whole point of him asking you out on a sushi date is for him to be the one who plans and confirms the sushi date. Do you understand? Not for him to say, let's go on a sushi date and then never follow through with the plan. And you're sitting there like Boo Boo the Fool with all your Fenty makeup done and nowhere to actually go. Okay. Let's hop into our fourth point. Okay. No clown makeup for you sitting there waiting for him to text you the location and the time. If he don't confirm with you, you don't go. Or you just go with your girlfriends. That could also be an option. Okay. Let's hop into our point number 4 here. Okay. I know some of you also hate this one because it's very annoying. Okay. Let's draw this out here. Alrighty. We're going to get through this dry erase marker. Don't you worry, chat. I'm not going to let this dry erase marker die on me. Okay. So we'll have our first level here. And then we'll have our second level here. And we have our third. Oops. That's a large third level. Let's do this like this. Okay. Well, I want to make this more realistic. There we go. And then we'll split that like that. Okay, much better. Much more realistic. Okay. So, monumental. We're going to live forever. Trauma. And then we have, we can just say, I like to call this something special. Okay. So, point number 4 is about flirting. Now, flirting can be very fun, but also frustrating. Let's imagine a scenario in which you're talking to a guy who you work with, and constantly on a regular basis, you and this guy do some flirting back and forth. But even though you guys do some casual flirting, you never really get past this level with him, right? You might go down past surface level and get personal, but you never, ever, ever pass to get into the trauma stage or to get into the naked stage, which the reason I describe it as naked, I just mean emotionally naked. Now, here's the thing. While you start working with this guy and you guys are casually flirting, maybe that's perfectly fine. But let's say you guys actually start dating outside of the workplace, even though I don't advise you to be dating coworkers. Let's just say, for example, now, as you guys transition to going outside of the workplace, you're expecting that your relationship will take the next level and go a little bit deeper in your conversation, go a little bit deeper in the emotional intimacy and all of that good stuff. However, even when you guys start dating outside the workplace seriously, let's say now you guys aren't even working together anymore, you're literally just dating each other, you still get stuck right around here. And you never really get too deep into the relationship. Now, here's a very interesting idea that I want you to be paying attention to, because see, certain guys will purposely withhold you on an emotional standpoint in terms of the depth that they go with you. And see, for some of you that like that depth, like that emotional intimacy, when you like a guy, this can actually push you to begin chasing a little bit more. See, now we've transitioned it from chasing after an experience, you're chasing after the intimacy. You're chasing after more depth in the relationship. So now you feel like, well, I need to get more out of you. I'm not getting enough. I'm not receiving enough. So then the entire relationship becomes about you chasing after getting and receiving more emotional intimacy from him, getting and receiving more emotional depth from him, right? So you see how strategically in each one of these points, there's like a slightly different thing that you're now chasing after, which ends up putting you in a position where you're now pursuing him. Because even in this sense here, it's an emotional need that you're pursuing. You're pursuing the depth of the relationship. You're pursuing the depth of the maybe even conversation. Because it's one thing to casually flirt with someone on a surface level or to casually flirt with them even on a personal level. It's a whole nother thing to go deep emotionally with someone in a way where you guys are having conversation that you wouldn't just have with anyone. But then when you like a guy and you feel like you're not getting enough out of him, you're not pulling that good information, you're not having those good in-depth conversations, well, now you start leaning forward and you start saying, well, what can I do to get that out of you? I don't feel like I'm getting that depth. And now you start slowly but surely, you start working for him. You start chasing after him. You start saying, what do I need to do to get that depth out of you? What do I need to do to get you to feel comfortable? What do I need to do this? What do I need to do to get you in this place? What do I need to do to get you to start talking about these things? And once again, your mind has went into, I need to do something for you in order to get access to you mode. It's very dangerous for you, okay? We don't want you in I need to do something for you to get access to you mode. We want you in I'm ready to receive mode, receive information, receive love, receive adoration, receive you, and analyze you. And in the process of that, I'm deciding for myself if I should be giving and entrusting my heart and soul into you. Now, I'm not saying be a selfish person and never want to give a man anything ever and never be nice to a man. But what I am saying is the emotional state that you go into a relationship with will drastically change what you receive out of it. If you're going in there with the emotional state that I need to do things in order to prove myself to you, especially for you as a woman, you'll automatically begin losing because you'll start taking on very masculine energy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, let's hop into point number 5. All right. This is one definitely, all of you Gen Zers it will resonate with you. Even some of you older millennials, it will resonate with you. Okay, maybe if you're not a boomer, maybe, but definitely the Gen Z. If you have, there's no way, no Gen X's should be even watching my show, but Gen Z for sure. This will resonate with you for sure. Okay, point number 5. Oops, let me write this properly. Okay. All right. Very dangerous, these ones. So we'll do this like this. I could write it here. Brand new iPhone. And then we'll put your large, massive noggin. Massive noggin, you have lots of knowledge you have in that massive noggin. So huge. Many, many diameter millimeters. Your massive noggin, super huge. Forehead on 85, okay? Here we go, that's you. Oh boy. Maybe we might have to, yeah, we'll give you some more, better jawline here. That's a pretty round jawline I gave you. Okay, so we have you here. And then we have the phone here. Now, let's, we'll draw out like this. And we'll just say, we'll do this like that. Okay, so this is the thing that I want you to see with the phone. So, point number 5 is about the social hook. See, men are very good at this. Gen Z men especially, okay? The men we have in 2025, very good at this. You've experienced this, I'm sure, if you're on social media at all, okay? The phone and the social media can be such a good way to trigger you and get you to chase. Why? Because he is smart enough, okay? Men aren't dumb. To know certain types of posts, whether it be of him with other people, of him with his casual friends, of him with his friend group, of him with 2 plates, but we can't see who's on the other side. We can't see if the nails are a fresh set of French tips or if they're man hands. And posts like that will trigger you. Why will they trigger you? Because you'll begin to question, where is he at? What is he doing? And who is he with? So now that you're questioning these things and you're wondering, where is he at? Who is he with? And what is he doing? You're now triggered. What does the trigger lead to when you're not emotionally aware of what he's trying to do here? You will crash out. The kids say crash out, so I'm using the term crash out. For those of you who don't know the term crash out, that just means to go crazy on him, okay? Calling his phone, spam calling him, spam texting him, where are you at? What are you doing right now? Okay? Even replying to a story, who is that? Please don't ever do that, okay? Right? All of these type of things that you're thinking, oh my gosh, he's the one that posted that and he's the one that triggered me. So I'm just responding to the ways that he triggered me. Why would he post that, Tomisin? He's such a bad person for posting that. But the reality of it is, this is a great strategy. If he feels like you're not invested enough, you're not on the hook enough, right? Because men will meet you and they'll say to themselves, I don't like how cool she's being. She's being way too cool. Because you want to know how men receive that when you're being very cool while dating them? They think, oh, she's not invested enough. So they'll do things and claim that they're naive to it. They'll do things to trigger you, to see if they can get you, to show that you're more invested, to show that you care more. Now, there's nothing wrong in itself with caring about a guy. But what I don't want is I don't want you to be able to be triggered by these attempts to get you to crash out so that you can show him that you care. Because as this happens, you'll begin starting to lean forward once again, right? Now, instead of chasing the experience or chasing being a wife, you're now chasing answers. You're trying to get out of him. What is it that you're doing? Who is it that you're spending time with? Where are you at? Right? How long are you going to be there? When are you going to get home? Things and questions that you have that you'll feel like, I need the answer now. If you don't tell me the answer, I'm going to go crazy on you. I'm going to call you 50 times until I get that answer. I'm going to message you 50 times until I get that. I'm not going to be able to eat. Some of you, tell me in the chat. When you see your man post or the guy you're talking to, you see him post something questionable, how many of you feel uncomfortable with eating? You can't even eat now. You can barely even sleep now. Now you're up. You can't even focus on what you're doing anymore. Okay? This is very bad. Okay? So it's that I feel nauseous, right? This is very bad. And even if you do feel that way, we don't want you acting out on that and letting him know you feel that way. Because similar to how I described that emotional spiral, once you start it, it's so hard to stop it. Because once you start the element of the crash out where you're like, what are you doing? Where are you at? I'm going to call you 50 times. I need answers right now. You can't stop yourself. Once you get it going and the ball's rolling, it's very hard to pull yourself back because now you feel yourself going crazy. And once you feel yourself going crazy, you're like, there's no point in me trying to save this now. I just have to go crazy until I get the answers that I want. Okay. So now we've transitioned to you're chasing after answers, right? With a guy you just started dating, especially, we don't need you to be chasing after answers. We need you to let things be. If he wants to go out on a dinner date with another girl and have a happily ever after with her, then so be it. Okay? That's none of your concern because you know that the man that you're looking for will be focused and giving his attention to you, not be dating 85 different women. Okay? Right? You know what value you bring. You know what you have, and you know that if he's ready to talk to you and you feel like talking to him, then you will talk to him, okay? I know it's painful. I know it's difficult. I know we're talking about it on the show, and I know when you're in the moment, it's a lot harder to actually execute on, but at least if you can understand what's happening, it'll make it easier for you to know what the best decision is moving forward, as opposed to just acting off of your raw emotion, which is always gonna tell you to crash out. Never listen to that. Never listen to that person whoever that is on your shoulder telling you, because I know it's not me, telling you to crash out. Never listen to that person. Okay. If you're going to listen to someone, listen to me in your mind, that person on your shoulder, because I'm never going to advise you to crash out. Crash out is never the answer. Okay. You let people choose what they want to do and how they want to treat you. And if it's bad, then they don't get access to you. Okay. Let's hop into point number 6. How would you feel one day? Wouldn't it be weird if one day I came on the show and I was drawing these pictures out and it was just like, like A1 drawing, like I became like a cartoonist overnight? Wouldn't that be weird if I was just able to just gain a skill overnight? Be pretty interesting. All right, so this is another, one I find kind of comical, okay? I was gonna call it something mature. I'm deciding I'm not gonna be as mature, okay? We're gonna call it something else. I'm gonna make sure to change this too. Because I think it'll stick way more when I draw it like this and I say it like this than the mature way of saying it. We like to have fun on the show, okay? Okay. Oh, how am I gonna draw this? I'm just drawing anything, chat. This is fun for me. Let's draw you with a big round nose there. Okay. Let me write this right. That was kind of not bad, huh, chat? Like, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. I'm having too much fun on this show, okay? That's not bad. You guys can't even cap. That's not bad. That's not bad, right? You see? You're getting better. You can't even cap on the show no more with me and my drawings, okay? So, point number 6 is the clown show. What I want you guys to, in all seriousness, see firsthand is something that a lot of guys will do when they try and get you to do work for them while they simultaneously do nothing for you. This is a great narrative to paint that guys will do to get you in the right place, in the right headspace for them to take advantage of you. They'll say things like, hey, I really like you. And, I really want us to work out. You know me, I want us to work out. I really want us to get married. Me, I want everything. But, see, here's the thing. You and the way that you're acting, see, you're so cool, right? And you take your time to message me back. It just really makes me feel like your interest is low, right? Let me spell this the right way. It makes me feel like your interest is low, right? I feel like you're not really all there with me. I feel like you're not really paying attention to me. I feel like I want to get married to you, but I just feel like you're so unserious. I can't really get you to focus on me the way that I focus on you. All I think about is being with you all day, every night, every second. And I just feel like you're not really there emotionally. I'm putting in so much more effort than you. I'm starting to lose a little bit of interest in the fact that I don't think you're doing as much for this relationship as I'm doing for you. So you want to know what happens now? You start saying, okay, I'm scared of the idea that I might lose you now because you're communicating to me, because my therapist always says communication is key. And my man, or the guy that I like, is communicating to me that he feels like I'm not as interested in him as he's interested in me. He feels like I don't text him as much as he texts me. He feels like I'm not really caring about this relationship as much as he cares about me. But what happens next is you do the worst thing you could possibly do. You create a clown out of yourself. That's why I'm calling this point a clown show. Because your clown version of you overcompensates for everything that he was saying you weren't doing. Playing it cool, sitting back, relaxing, receiving, not doing too much, right? Not crashing out. Now, what does clown you do? Clown you is a crash out now, okay? Clown you is a textaholic, okay? Clown you is available 24/7. And all the other things that I tell you never to do. Why? Because you now think that it's necessary for you to overcompensate to show him, no, I do have interest in you. No, I do want this as bad as you want this. No, I want to make this relationship work too. But the problem is, as you're overcompensating and turning into a clown, that is not a bad drawing, chat. That's not a bad drawing. As you're overcompensating and turning yourself into a complete clown, he then pulls back all of the interest that he was once showing you. And now as you continue to overcompensate and turn into more and more of a clown, he slowly dwindles away on the amount of effort he was putting in towards you. And now you're the one doing all the work. And you don't realize just how fast it happened because he was able to switch the places in which you were paying attention, right? You were once paying attention to observing him and observing his actions. Then once he got your anxiety rolling, that maybe he might walk away. Maybe he might stop showing you interest now. Maybe he might be the one that says, hey, you're the one that ruined this. You're the one that messed this up for us because I wanted something and you didn't want the same thing. And you start feeling FOMO because you're like, oh my gosh, what if we do break up and it's my fault? What if we do break up and it's because I wasn't showing enough interest? And as soon as you get there mentally, now you're going to start doing things that you were regularly never going to do. Now you start trying to impress him, text him, call him, reach out to him in ways that you know you shouldn't be doing. And this is the craziest part about this because I know how the spiral goes. Once you get on this path and you start creating a clown out of yourself, it gets very difficult to stop yourself at that point, even when you recognize you're being a clown. So what I mean by that is, let's say for the sake of example, he tells you, yeah, you haven't never been calling me, so I really would love for you to start calling me more, for me to start feeling like you actually care about this and want this relationship. Then when you start calling him more, either he doesn't pick up, or he's very aloof, or he seems very disinterested himself. But now that you started making a clown out of yourself, instead of you pulling your energy back, you keep calling him more and you keep calling him more. And now you get to the point in your relationship where it's literally went from him calling you all the time to him calling you some of the time to now he calls you none of the time and you're doing all the calling. And it happens just like that in a flash, right? Once you start creating that clown out of yourself, it spirals out of control very quickly, okay? It's reverse psychology. That's why I was going to put here for this point, but I wanted to make it a clown show because I want you to really stick it in your mind, the visual of how clownish you look when that happens. Does that make sense to all of you, right? This is a really big one. Someone said that could never be me. Hey, trust me. You never think it's going to be you, and then one day it's one guy. It doesn't have to be every guy, chat. It's always just one guy It's one guy that something about him just works for you. Something about him just reaches the depths of your soul and speaks to your mind and spirit. And you can't help yourself. You all, chat, have no idea how many personal questions I get that are literally like, Tomisin, I literally never act like this, but there is this one guy that just made me act a damn fool. Now I don't know what to do. It's always just one guy. And what I'm trying to help you plan for is that one guy, because it's the one guy that's gonna bring all of these traits out of you that will mess it all up, and I don't want to happen to you, okay? Right? All right. I know some of you probably wonder, how do you know all this? I've seen a lot. Okay, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. All right. Phone again. Phone is like the bane of our existence. Let's do it like this. And then we'll have here 1 hour, 3 hours, 1 whole day. Okay. So, point number 7 about response time. I hate to tell you this, but this can also be something very strategic. When a guy starts off with you, when he's dating you or talking to you in this talking stage, and you get used to a particular style of texting that he has, and you also get used to a particular frequency of texting that he has with you. Now you start to identify that as a pattern of how he communicates with you. The thing is though, even if, and trust me, I've seen this happen so many times, it's even painful for me when I hear it. Even if you go into your talking stage feeling like, I'm kind of detached. Yeah, he texts me all the time, but Tomisin, I watch your show all the time. So it doesn't even faze me. I don't text him back that much. I literally say word for word exactly what you tell me to say, that I'm not that good of a texter and I'm much better in person. Not a problem. But the problem is, it's only not a problem while he continues this pattern. So what happens is, when we get to the 10-minute mark, when you become accustomed to him texting you every 5 minutes, you're like, but Tomisin, it's what, like, hey, can't hate the player, hate the game. I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping. He texts me every 10 minutes. I'm still not tripping. I'm not going to test him back too crazy. I'm going to send him some pictures like you said. Tomisin, I know how to do this. I'm all goody. I'm all goody. Then the guy that was texting you every 5 minutes starts texting you every 1 hour. Now you're a little bit more uncomfortable. Things aren't flowing as easy for you as they once were. And the 1 hour turns to 3 hours. Slowly but surely, your confidence has turned into anxiety now. And this man who was once texting you every 5 minutes, replying to you so early, you couldn't even finish your entire thought before he responded, now all of a sudden is barely even texting you. And you've gone from someone with extreme ultimate confidence to someone who has extreme anxiety, and you're sending me in a personal message saying, Tomisin, I don't know what to do, because this guy was texting me every 5 minutes and I feel like now he's not texting me. I think that I ate my food the wrong way. I think I sat the wrong way when I sat down. I think I wore the wrong color dress. I think my jeans weren't tight enough. I don't know what it was that I did or I said, but all of a sudden, this man not interested in me and I need to do something about it. And my response is always, do absolutely nothing. Do nothing. Because when this happens, and when your anxiety gets triggered, any action you take from your anxiety being triggered like this by this will mean you are going in the wrong direction, right? You're only going to be digging yourself a deeper hole when your response to his response time slowing is to take action to try and stimulate him responding to you more. Let me help you understand something so you're never ever again confused when it comes to men. They will talk to you when they feel like talking to you. It sounds very simple, right? Men, when they have your number, they know how to reach you if they want to reach you. So the idea that he's not reaching you for some reason outside of his control is just a lie. It's just a lie. I've helped so many women, hundreds. It's probably close to 1,000 now. So many, hundreds. When I help these women, steady, like clockwork, every time they respond to this by taking action, like saying, hey, so you haven't messaged me in a while. I was just wondering what's going on with you. Yeah, we haven't gone on a date in the last 2-3 weeks, 3 months, 4 months. And I was just wondering, maybe, I don't know if you lost my number or something. Maybe you were busy for the last month or so. Or did your phone die for so? I just wanted to check in. I was checking in. Yeah. Every time, like clockwork, when a girl comes to me and says that this is the message I sent him, this is the email I sent, because some of you it's email, this is the thing that I said to him when I realized his response time was like that, their response is usually one of a few things. I was busy, just in general. I had work, still general work. I had some things to do, someone had an emergency, a family emergency, a friend emergency, something along those lines, right? They give their excuse, whatever that excuse is, and then they might text you for the rest of that day. Then you know what happens the next day? Then they go right back to the same amount of time it took them to respond as it was before you started texting them again. So nothing changes. All you get is an excuse, and then you continue to be frustrated because the same thing happens over again. Because for men, when they have your number, they know how to message you. And majority of the time, if they're not messaging you, it's an active choice to not message you. Because if things were going well with you guys, and if you guys had no, obvious issues in your relationship or on the dates that you had, and he's choosing not to message you, it is indeed an active choice. Because he knows if he wanted to reach out to you and talk to you, he could just do that. So if he's not, clearly something has become more of a priority than talking to you, or he just stopped caring. Either way, I want you to relinquish trying to control that and allow whatever is true to be true. It'll save you a lot of time, and it'll save you a lot of energy. It'll also save you a lot of hassle, because anything you do after this to try and solve this and take this from here to come all the way back to here will be useless. Useless. Don't do it. Don't try it. Don't try and stimulate it. Don't try and massage it. Do nothing. Okay? You're not going to take a man from this to this. You're not going to. No amount of open communication, no amount of open lines of conversation, nothing. Nothing is going to take you from this to this. Nothing. Okay? Right? Especially when you just started dating a man and he's deciding for himself how frequently he wants to talk to you or whether or not he even wants to talk to you. Okay? That's just the reality. I have to let you know that. Okay? So let's hop into point number 8. I know some of you don't like to hear that. I know some of you don't, but you have to. You have to. Because I see a lot of people slip. The response time gets a lot of people to slip up. Because when you get used to a pattern, it's hard to let go of that pattern of behavior, especially when you've been receiving that type of attention from him all this time, okay? Number 8. Ooh, I don't like how I drew that 8. Okay. Alrighty. We'll do this here. Okay, and then we'll draw this like that. And then we'll draw this like that. Okay. Do this. There we go. And then we do this. Like that. And this one like that. I love this stuff, man. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, point number 8 is about competition. Don't we love competition? Now, this is also has a strategic element to it in terms of how men will present competition to you in a way that will make you feel threatened. So here's the thing, okay? There's a psychological element to this, and men aren't doing this for no reason. So let's say you're talking to a guy, and all of a sudden he starts talking about his coworker, this girl coworker, in a way that makes you feel strange on the inside. He's talking about this coworker, and he's like, yeah, Jennifer from my work, she is just amazing. She came in a month ago and she joined our team. When I tell you she is one of the most intelligent women I've ever met, I mean intelligent. I work with her on all of our new projects, and she makes things go super fast. She is so sharp, so cunning. I don't know what I would do without her. And then you're saying to yourself, let me see a picture of Jennifer. And you look at a picture of Jennifer and you're like, oh my God, Jennifer is exactly his type. I know what his type is, and it's Jennifer. He don't just think she's smart. He thinks she's voluptuous. That's the intelligence he's seeing in her, okay? But what is this doing here to you? Okay, let's imagine you just started talking to a guy, and this is what you're seeing, this is what you're hearing. This is doing something very in particular to you. It's creating competition in your mind, especially as you hear more and more stories of whether it be Jennifer, the coworker, or some other girlfriends in his life or that are around him, that you start to get a sniff, hey, maybe there's something going on here. Maybe that girl likes him. Maybe this, maybe that. When this competition is created in your mind, automatically you're put in a position where you start thinking to yourself, well, maybe I need to start doing some things like we talked about earlier to prove myself as the number one, okay? I need to show him Jennifer's smart, but I'm smarter, right? Let me write this like this. We'll put smarter over here. Jennifer's smart, but I'm smarter, right? Jennifer's hot, but I'm hotter. Jennifer is, let's just say, sharp, but I'm sharper. Jennifer's freaky, well, I'm even freakier. Whatever. And just with everything, right? It starts to make you feel like you're in competition with either one woman in particular or multiple women. Once you feel like you're in competition, once again, you're going to start chasing the number one spot, because you're going to think that, hey, I need to get the number one spot in his heart. And if I don't do everything to get this number one spot in his heart, then I'll be relegated to number 3 or number 2, wherever that is, right? Whoever is in these spots. And I don't want any of these spots. Should be the opposite way. Let me draw it like this. I don't want to be in the number 3 or number 2 spot. I want to be right at the top, as we all want to be. But the reality of it is, right, when a guy is creating competition in your mind, whether there's actual competition or whether it's just the competition that you feel like there is now based on all the women who are in his life, you still can't allow this to get you out of your regular stance, get you out of your regular position, because this chasing of the number one spot comes with a lot more than you're even thinking. It comes with a lot of anxiety, because having the number one spot will never even feel good enough to you when you're spending so much time and energy chasing the number one spot in his life. When you chase the number one spot in his life, even when you feel like you have it for a couple of moments, for a couple of weeks, even a couple of months, you will always be looking over your shoulder and thinking to yourself, is someone else going to take my spot if I don't continue doing the most? And what does that lead to now? That leads to you taking a lot of action towards him in order to show him that you're much more and much better than the other girls who are competing for this spot. You really can't. You really can't. And I know it sounds weird because you're thinking, well, Tomisin, then how am I supposed to get the rich and successful man who has any woman that he wants? The real reality is by doing nothing. Because the more you do nothing, the more you'll actually fit the mold of the opposite of what everyone else is showing him in his life. Because the reality of it is the same way that you want to compete for the number one spot is the same way that all the other women will want to compete for the number one spot. And there will be a level of inauthenticity, I should say, when women are trying so hard to compete for that number one spot. Because even the men who have a lot of different options, even the men who can date anyone who they want, right? They're rich and successful and attractive. They can have any woman they want. Even they understand that there is an element of inauthenticity when a woman is trying so hard to be everything that you want as a man that she's not even being herself anymore, okay? Right? Even men can recognize that. So the best thing for you to do if you really want to attract a guy and you don't want to fall into the trap of chasing him is to do nothing. Continue being yourself. Even when he tries to make competition get you anxious or make you feel like you need to do more to get his attention or keep his attention, you do nothing. Let him come to you when he's ready. And if he doesn't choose to come to you, that is an active choice. And you allow that to be the truth. You don't try and force things to change, okay? In your stance as a woman, I'm always trying to remind you, your job is not to try and force men to want you, force them to want this, force them to want to be with you, because you'll lose either way. Even if you get the guy, you'll lose that way. Because once you forced him to do it, he's going to feel like it wasn't an authentic decision to him, and then he's going to punish you for it emotionally, okay? Not in a hot way, because I know some of you guys are into that. Let's go on to point number 9. Okay. Oh, this is a great one. Like a great one, like a bad one. A great one, like a bad one. This one. All right, so we'll just do this very simple. I'll draw this out real simple for all of us so we can all be on the same page. I'll try and make this legible. Okay. And then we'll have, you have a smaller head in this one. Ooh, kind of long though, kind of deformed. Let's give you more jawline there. There we go. Ooh, okay. You here, okay. So here's the thing, right? Point number 9 is about playing the victim. Now, what do I mean? So there we go. What the heck is this thing doing? Sorry. Okay, so point number 9 is about playing the victim. What victim am I referring to? I'm referring to, tell me, chat, if you've ever had this happen to you. So a guy will essentially tell you this sob story. Tell me if you've heard this sob story before. I'll just be honest with you. I've dated many women. And in the process of me dating many women, they've all taken advantage of me, went behind my back, cheated on me with my best friend, my best of friends, in my bed, in the same bed that I sleep in. The nut stain was on my pillow. I slept on the nut stain. I've just been so hurt by so many women in my entire life. I can't trust anyone. Not even a soul. I can't even trust my pet hamster. I can't trust anyone. Every woman in my life betrays me. It's so sad. It's so tragic. I don't think that love is even meant for me, because every time I meet a woman, I give my absolute all to her. I give her everything. I give her the clothes on my back. I have no clothes. I'm naked in the street because I gave it to her. She has everything. And I get nothing in return. I get used. I get abused. I get stepped on. I get nothing. All I ever wanted was for a woman to come into my life that I can trust, that will finally take care of me, that will finally do things for me, that will finally love me. I've never had it. And I just need one woman to be that for me. So what does that do for you, right? You obviously feel sorry for him. So you start thinking to yourself, let's put some of your thought bubbles here, right? I must be different, right? You start thinking he deserves better. Great, right? You have empathy. So these are things that will run through your mind, right? Not unnatural. You have empathy. You're an empathetic person. Of course, you're going to feel this way when he tells you this crazy sob story. Now, in the process of this, though, here's the thing. Even though he told you this crazy sob story, it doesn't necessarily mean that that sob story is true. But the great part about that sob story is when you feel sorry for him, it brings your walls down to say, you know what, maybe this won't be a guy who's going to take advantage of me, because clearly he's been taken advantage of in all of his past relationships. Let me let you in on a secret you may or may not know already. Anytime you meet someone and they tell you or describe their past relationships as if in all of my past relationships, I've done nothing but be a angel, sit there and take it when someone else is beating me down. They're beating me down, beating me in the face, beating me in the stomach, beating me everywhere, every which way, throwing me to the ground, throwing me everywhere. And I've just done nothing but take a beat down from women my entire life, okay? Or my exes my entire life. Anytime you meet someone who talks like that about their past relationships, they're spinning the narrative. Because the reality of it is, we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. There is no circumstance in which you can date multiple people and every aspect of the relationship is someone else's fault and they were just beating you down for no reason. So the reason I say that is because once you get the sob story and you decide to yourself that you must be different, you must make a change, you want to show him something that he's never seen before, you'll immediately start putting yourself in a position where you're doing more for him than he's doing for you. What does that also translate to? That translates to you chasing him, right? You'll start doing things that you never would do for the average man. Let me go over to your place, show you I'm different by cleaning your house. Let me show you that you can trust me, right? By texting you 24/7, giving you my location, right? Being available to you whenever you message me, whenever you call me, even when you call me the day of and you want to hang out in the next 5 minutes. Let me show you that you can trust me and you can actually rely on me, not like the other girls that have been in your life, right? That's how you start thinking. You start thinking you're showing him something different than he's seen. You're being the first girl in his life to actually treat him well, right? And you feel almost like good about the idea that you're like giving him something that he's never experienced before. But you're really not. You're really not the first. You're really not. You just got tricked by the fact that you have empathy, that he's played a good victim role, that now you want to come and you know how they say, girl, I wish I could save you, but I can't. Like Drake said, yeah, you end up being Superwoman and Super Spider-Woman and Superwoman, right? In this sense, right? And Wonder Woman, okay? Because you end up trying to save him from all of the terrible, horrible, tragic things that has happened to him in his past relationships. Okay? We don't want that for you. Girl, I wish I could save you, but I can't. You know what I realized? Obviously, this show is about relationships, but I always have to make sure whenever I make a reference song that you guys know who it is. Because I know not all of you listen to like hip hop and R&B. Right? Everyone has a little bit of a different music taste in the show. So I think that's interesting. I have to be like, oh, that's a Drake song, because I know some of you won't know what that song is when I'm singing it. All right, let's hop into point number 10. This one is, I think it's quite interesting because it's a bit counterintuitive to you when you think about how guys are. We'll just draw his stick body real quick here. Stick body. And we'll draw your beautiful, voluptuous body. Beautiful, voluptuous. You look like Marilyn Monroe, girl. You look so good. Look at how thin your waist is, girl. You went to Columbia, got that BBL, girl. You looking fine today. Fine. You looking. Okay. Which are you with the smile? Okay. So here's the thing. Point number 10 is about distance. Now, I'm not talking about emotional distance. I'm actually going to be talking about physical distance, okay? Right? So the reason I'm discussing physical distance is because when you see a guy and you get accustomed to the way that he'll hug you, the way that he'll touch you, the way that he'll kiss you, the way that even he'll look at you, because that's almost a version of physical intimacy. It all makes you feel things, and it all gets you used to a particular pattern from him, right? Now, let's say in this scenario, you get accustomed to all of that from him, and now you meet him one day, and he's no longer giving you the same type of hugs. He's no longer touching you the same way that he used to touch you. He doesn't even kiss you the entire time you guys hang out. And you notice that the look in his eyes is very different. What is this going to do to you? Okay. Now, oops. I'm writing all over the place. Now, you have a lot of anxiety. Now, you're worried. We'll even say, I'll put here because anxiety and worry is the same thing. You're worried that maybe something is going on. Right? You also might think, there's someone else. Okay? All of these type of things will go through your mind. Very similar to competition. Once you feel that physical distance, especially when it's breaking a pattern of behavior that you become accustomed to from him, you start thinking, okay, once again, I need to fix this, okay? You're noticing a pattern here? Things that trigger your desire to start fixing, especially with the man that you just started dating, are always bad. Because for you as a woman, you can't be trying to fix anything that you didn't do and you didn't cause. When a guy changes the way he physically starts touching you, kissing you, looking at you, all of that other stuff, it's good to recognize that. It's great to observe that. But what's not good to do is to try and say, okay, let me compensate for the fact he's not doing as much as he used to do by me doing more now. Maybe I'll start being the one hugging him more. Maybe I'll start being the one kissing him more. Maybe I'll start being the one touching him more to compensate for the fact he's not doing it as much. No. What I want you to do instead of being baited into doing that, because once you get on that train, it's very hard to get off. What also happens is once you get on that train, it's very hard to recognize if something has actually changed, because your mind will initially realize the change here, but your mind won't want to stay in that place for too long. So you're going to try and compensate by hugging and touching and kissing as much as you possibly can, that you don't have to actually acknowledge that there's a difference in the way that he's acting towards you. I want you to acknowledge there's a difference in the way he's acting towards you, number one. And number two, what I also want you to do is I want you to allow yourself to see firsthand how much things have changed in the way that he's acting towards you, so that you can identify something has changed in his behavior and that there is something going on that needs to be discussed. Because it's a lot harder, or I should say it's a lot easier, to not address that the fact that things have changed physically in his patterns of behavior when it's obvious that you guys are having no physical intimacy anymore because he's not doing the same things or initiating the same things that he used to, versus you overcompensating now, and then it doesn't get addressed even though you know deep down in your heart something is wrong and something is off. It's always better to recognize the pattern change and then address it by either talking about it or discussing it or whatever the case you do to address it, than pretending like it's not happening and then overcompensating yourself. And then you're in a position where now you feel like in order for you to just ignore this and not have to address it and not talk about it, you continue to have to overcompensate until you get to the point where now all of the physical intimacy that maybe he used to be the one initiating, you're now the one initiating. And because you've chosen not to discuss it, in the process of you doing all the initiating instead of doing any of the discussing or addressing, you've now put yourself in a position where now 2, 3, 4 months down the line is when you realize that his energy switched and the lack of physical initiation changed because he actually did start seeing someone else. But you didn't want to address that to yourself back then. Instead, you continued pursuing him and overcompensating for what he wasn't doing so that you wouldn't have to address that properly, okay? Do you guys have any questions about any of the 10 that we just discussed here today? I know there were a lot of points, but I wanted to be very thorough in this. There's a lot of different ways a guy can get you to chase him. Okay. By the way, if any of you have any personal questions for me, whether they be about this show or a previous show, or just in general, you want to ask me a question about your relationship or situationship, go ahead and go to the link in my bio on TikTok if you're watching this show on TikTok, or go into the link in my description if you're watching on YouTube and type in private relationship advice, and then you can ask me your question there, and I will answer it and address it as well as I possibly can, okay? Does that make sense? It's a 24/7 hotline. You send in your question to me, type it out, and I will send you back a voice message. I should have said that as well. It's not going to be typed out. It's going to be my actual voice. You know it's my voice because you hear my voice now, okay? Someone says he could just lie. Lie about what? Lie about what? Someone says how to handle a guy that used to, let me scroll up here. How to handle a guy that is used to being spoiled by a woman. You're not going to do that. You're not going to be spoiling a man. Spoiling a man in what sense? Like paying for his meals and his dinners? What do you mean spoiling, like a woman spoiling a man? What are you talking about there? What are you talking about? What are you discussing there? Someone said quick recap. If you want to recap or you missed any of the points and you're watching this on TikTok, just go over to my YouTube channel, which is just above my head on the top right corner of the screen. Just type in my name, Tomisin. You'll see me live on YouTube at the same time as I'm live on TikTok. So you didn't miss anything. Once you go there, you can literally rewind the live stream from start to finish and see all my different points. You can scroll through it, skim through it. You can rewatch it. It's available to you right now. So you don't even have to wait to recap and rewatch all the points, okay? Someone said like you're their sponsor. That sounds like a sugar mama. That's a whole different type of relationship, okay? So if a man's used to having sugar mamas, I don't know, is that what you want to sign up for? There's a site for that, if that's what you want to sign up for, okay? Someone said, are you Canadian? I am. I live in Toronto, okay? Jasmine in the YouTube chat says, I do not like to get too physical with a man anymore, so joke's on them. It's always better. It's always easier to detach yourself from a guy when you aren't physical with him yet and you figure him out before you guys get physical. Purple Corp says, can you talk about how narcissism plays into all of this? There's no way a normal, healthy man does this. Purple Corpse, I hate to tell you, even normal, healthy men will play these tricks sometimes. I'll just be real with you. Maybe not all of them, and maybe not all at once, but even semi-healthy to healthy men will play these tricks sometimes, just because you have to understand, okay, I want to explain this in the right way that it will be able to be grasped properly. You have to understand, men work like this. I'll just give you this example for you to understand. He might say, yeah, it would be better for our relationship long term if we waited to sleep with each other until we knew each other better. Like you have to realize there are men who are that evolved and emotionally intelligent that they can acknowledge being with you would probably go better if you guys waited to sleep with each other. However, even in that, they would still, if you came to them and said, I really want to sleep with you on the first night, even though you know that it would probably be better for us to wait, would you be down to sleep with me on the first night? There's a lot of healthy, mature men that would still say yes, even though they know it's better for you guys to wait until later, until you build the relationship, right? There's still a lot of healthy men that would still say yes to that. Why? Because if you aren't going to set a boundary on certain things, if you are going to say certain things are cool, he's going to say, hey, well, I'll look the other way. So the reason I say that is men will test you, just to be in its most basic sense, right? Men will test you because they just want to see how far can they get, right? What are you willing to offer, okay? If you have a strong boundary, it's perfectly fine for even the healthy men, but they just want to see, just a little checky, okay? The same way, even a healthy man will try and sleep with you. Then when you set a boundary, he'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. No problem, right? Still going to try, but he'll be like, no problem. You have a boundary, no problem, right? For LP Bay, he says, for point number 10, I asked him what his deal was. He says nothing, just work. What do I do now? What do I do with this info? What if a part of me doesn't believe him? Well, this is great. If you don't believe a man who is being physically distant with you, continue observing. Because the longer you observe and the less you compensate, the more answers you'll get. Because then you get to see, how long is this really going to go on for? And instead of focusing on making yourself feel good in that uncomfortability, you can start doing some research, okay? And taking some notes and maybe asking some questions to see if you can get to the bottom of what's really happening and going on, which I personally think is a better use of your time than pretending like nothing's happening. Because especially if a guy is becoming physically distant in a way that has never been normal to him before, something's happening. It's not, I can't, especially for an extended period of time, it can't be just work, okay? Nathna says, I really hope you answer my Discord question today. It depends. Is it a premium question? If you asked a premium question, then I'll definitely answer it today. But if it's a free question, you have to understand there's so many free questions in the Discord, okay? They watch corn at work. They got time. Haley, what type of men you be seeing? They watch corn at work? That's an addiction, okay? Do these tricks mean that he's not the right guy for you? Well, yes and no. Because yes, you don't want a man who is going to be playing all these tricks on you or using all these strategies to get you to chase him, right? But at the same time, you also have to understand guys are going to try. Now, just because they try, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. That doesn't mean that they're going to continue trying when they realize it doesn't work. Sometimes guys just try because they've been successful with the strategy before. And then when you show him that that strategy is not going to be successful with you, they are like, okay, I'm not going to do that strategy anymore, right? I'm just going to forget about it. Right? You just have to understand setting boundaries with men. Some of them, they come back and then they act right. Sometimes you set a boundary with men and then he's like, I never wanted you if you were not gonna, if you were gonna have boundaries, right? It depends on the man really, but it can happen both ways. But recognizing it is the most important part so you don't fall into your trap. Melody says, tell us how to not sleep with the man whom you really like and it's mutual. It's hard. I actually did a show. It's called How to Avoid Sex with Men. It's literally titled that. It's on my YouTube channel, so you go to my YouTube channel and watch that show because it addresses exactly that, which, it consists of you have to be proactive when it comes to that. You can't allow yourself to go based on your feelings, okay? Because Amar said boundaries and self-respect. That sounds good in a fairy tale, but I know in reality, when we're thinking about boundaries and self-respect, that gets thrown out the window when you're horny and you really like the guy and you want to spread your legs and have him pound you, okay? We're all human beings here. So the best thing for you to do is to be proactive, to put yourself in a position where even if you were able to choose, you couldn't make that choice. For example, not putting yourself in a position where you're at his house under a blanket watching Netflix alone in his apartment where it's quiet and dark, right? That's going to be a mistake because then you can succumb to your emotions in the moment. Whereas if you stick to only seeing him when you're out and about with plenty of people around, at least then you'll be less likely to be bold enough to sleep with him in front of a whole bunch of people, unless maybe you're into that. But most of you will find it difficult to undress yourself and insert himself inside of you when you guys are out in public, okay? It'll be a lot harder for you to succumb to your emotions then, which is good. Then you give yourself no choice, which is the best way to go about it if you know it's already hard for you, okay? Because I know for some of you, when the ovulation monster hits you, you don't think straight and you just start doing things that make no sense, okay? We've all been, well, I get it, I should say. How do you expose a guy who omits the truth? How would you know he's omitting the truth? How would you know that? But let's say that does happen. What is the purpose of the expose? Because you have to ask yourself, am I exposing him because I want him to apologize for what he did, feel empathy for what he did? Am I exposing him because I'm going to break up with him? If you're exposing someone because you want to break up with them, then just break up with them. And then if they're wondering why you broke up with them, tell them what you found out. But if you're exposing them just for them to feel bad, and when you expose them, maybe they tell you that you're wrong or they gaslight you, or whatever the case may be, they just come flat out lie about it, tell you it's not true, then what are you going to do? Probably break up with them. So then do that. And then just make that choice ahead of time. If they respond this way, I'm going to break up with them. If they respond that way, I'll hear them out. One of the two, right? Henya says, I like the episodes on how to find out stuff. I like telling you all how to find out stuff, okay? Class says, right, go to PG spots. go to PG spots. I'm telling you, especially if you know that that monster hits you hard, or you're in that time of the month, that week of the month where you just cannot think straight. Don't even bother relying on yourself, okay? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. If you try to rely on yourself and your own willpower to be able to stop you and prevent you from making a mistake, you're gonna lose. You're 100% of the time, you're gonna, especially if you like the guy, especially if he turns you on, especially if he talks real slick, real smooth, not good. Not good, okay? Not good. Let me see here. I just pulled up. What are we talking about? We're talking about how men bait you into chasing them. Mia says, keeps track of our phases of our cycles so you don't fall because of your hormones. Yeah, there's an app called, so I believe there's multiple apps. The one that I'm most familiar with is called Flow, F-L-O, and it tracks your cycle. So if you input your data, your height, weight, your age, and all that other stuff, like the last time you got your period and all that other stuff, it will tell you when you're expected to get your next period. It'll also tell you when you're expected to have your next ovulation cycle. So it'll be a real good barometer for you that as soon as you know, like, oh, he says he wants to, you know, hang out on the 20th. That's right in between the middle of my ovulation cycle. Hell no, we ain't hanging out on the 20th, okay? I really mean that. Like, if you really want to get serious about your dating life, you have to take it that serious. Because if you know, you lose your self-control, you start thinking some nasty, disgusting thoughts when you're, you know, ovulating, don't see him when you're ovulating. Just literally skip those days, because you're going to be in not the right headspace when you sit down on that date. You're going to be thinking things that you would never regularly think, okay? What does it mean when my boyfriend breaks my... Why is this all cycle questions? Chat, I'm not a gynecologist. Yeah, that's not my area of expertise, but yeah, it's just a word of advice. What should I do about a guy who broke no contact even though he ended things a year ago? Why did he break no contact? What was the purpose? Just to chit chat? What's the purpose for you of responding? Just to chit chat? There's no purpose to chit chat, okay? If he's not, you know, breaking no contact to actually build something with you, no purpose in chit chatting with an old fling, okay? Move your life forward, okay? Someone says, why you know about ovulation? Don't ask certain type of questions, chat. Don't ask certain type of questions. I just know a lot of things about a lot of things. You guys too nosy. What's the name of the app? The name of the app is Flow, F-L-O. That's the name. That's the one I'm most familiar with. I know there's lots of other ones. Purple Corp says, are you a Toronto man? I live in Toronto. I wouldn't call myself a Toronto man. Sounds disgusting to say that, okay? I don't call myself a Toronto man. He probably wanted to go get an ego stroke. Yeah, probably. Why he watches my stories, but he doesn't text me? Because guys are watchers. There's always a thing I call interest levels. Interest levels is like, you have to understand, even when a guy is flirting with you, whether it be at work, classroom, whatever, school, whatever, there's a certain level and barometer for interest. Past a certain point, you can work with that in terms of being able to date a guy who has that level of interest in you, because he'll be very intentional with you. Some guys will show you little, very little interest, just enough that you feel like he's kind of into you, but not enough where it's actually can work in terms of dating you, because he never asks you on one. The guys who are rocking with like little to no interest, just don't bother with them. Don't bother with yourself with what they think, what they're doing, why they're watching. Just don't bother yourself. Because if they can't reach out to you and literally say, hey, I want you, I want to go out on a date with you, it's not worth your time. You can't really work with that, because the only way to work with that is for you to do all the work, okay? Someone says, if you're in the USA, do not use the Flow app. Is the Flow app not good in the USA? Keep in mind, I'm in Canada, right? So everyone I know uses the Flow app. LP Baby says, I'm gonna ask regardless. Tommy, you know me, like you're gonna ask your question regardless. Why does he wait so long before initiating dates? How long have you been seeing the guy? How long have you been seeing the guy? That really depends. Class says, Mr. Tommy is emotionally mature, knowing about ovulation and stuff like that. Well, if I'm gonna talk to you, all you women, about relationships and understand your mind and understand how you think and process information, I have to kind of understand your body too, because your body is connected to your mind. Everything flows as one, right? It's kind of advantageous, because when I'm communicating to you, you've got to be able to digest the information in a way that makes sense to you. So I try to do my research, chat. Do my research. I think it's Stefan. All right, so today we have a very, very, I guess, special kind of React segment on our show today, because Here's the thing. Someone sent me in this video. She was like, Tomisin, you have to react to this because this is like this really hot story. It's like the Risa Tisa story. It's a whole saga and everything. So I need you to react to every single like episode in this series. So I was like, okay, I won't go too deep into it. I'll just kind of, save it here and then we'll react to it live on the stream. So this is from Mr. Brett Furley. And apparently this is some crazy story. I'm sure in some way, shape, or form it's related to a relationship. So we're gonna watch this whole series together. It's like 10 videos, okay? 10 episodes.
I don't care. I've stayed quiet long enough. A few years ago, I agreed to be a sperm donor. She said she just wanted the baby and not a relationship. I was young and naive and I trusted someone that I shouldn't have. When she told me she was pregnant, I congratulated her and moved to California. I thought that was the end of it. But then she started messaging my mom. She said she had no one and she pressured us all to be at the birth. So we did. We were all at the birth. I signed the birth certificate and I decided to be in the baby's life as a dad. I let her and the baby live in my Airbnb for free. I had to pay child support and she took over $52,000 from me. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being a dad. She started asking me to be a family and when I refused, she called me a deadbeat online and I stayed silent throughout it all. 2.5 years later, I decided to take 2 DNA tests. Both of them said the same thing. I was not the father. When I shared the results, she said that I was lying and that we tampered with the test.
Before you guys all start believing his shit, some company with her DNA, that could have been anyone's DNA.
She filed a restraining order. A judge silenced me and made me remove all my posts based on Maria's claim that I was actually the father. Here is the court order DNA test that I had to request. And it confirmed again, I am not the father. And while I was silent, she kept going. She was changing dates on photos, spinning stories, manipulating people online. Some people believed her. But while she was doing that, I was uncovering the truth. Connections, manipulations, lies, and the truth about who the real father is. This is just the beginning of Maria's web of lies. I'm probably going to jail for this. I don't care. I've stayed quiet long enough. A few years.
So we're uncovering who the father of this supposedly sperm donor child is. That's not actually a sperm donor. It's really a real baby father. So we're uncovering the truth here.
Here's part 2 of my side. Apparently, I've been in a full-blown relationship I wasn't even aware of. Maria and I had a one-night stand on December 12th, 2020. She was in her 30s and I had just turned 24. And let me say this slowly for the people in the back. We were never in a relationship. She wanted more and I didn't. So instead of taking the L, she turned into a full-blown homie hopper. Like back to back. Wasn't even discreet about it. She just went down the roster like it was her job. I guess the logic was, if I won't date her, maybe I'll change my mind after I watch her hook up with all my friends. Bold strategy. It didn't work. And in case you think I'm still lying, her own cousin confirmed that we were never together. I'm sorry, Hadley. I know you hate this picture, but this is the time that Maria asked me to be a sperm donor. So she doesn't want to do IVF, and I'm convenient because we've already slept together once. She says she wants nothing from me, and instead of doing the smart thing and walking away, I said yes, because I was 24 and apparently thought the best use of my time was becoming a discount sperm donor for someone that I wasn't even texting back. I was thinking with the wrong head, obviously. She said no.
At least he's honest. That was really stupid. That was monumental. He's honest at least.
No strings, no drama. I just want a baby. I was like, sounds easy enough. I can do that. I really thought I could just sleep with her and help her get pregnant, and then go back to business as usual. Like, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with the whole parenting thing. Top tier dumbass behavior. I own that. I know it. But I genuinely believed her when she said it would be simple. No drama and no strings attached. That's not what happened. Here's part 2 of my side. Apparently, I've been in a full-blown relationship I wasn't even aware of. Maria and I had a one-night stand on December 12th, 2020. She was in her 30s and
I was in a loop there. Let's go to the next one.
This woman told me I got her pregnant the same day she got her period, and then accidentally exposed herself on TikTok 3 years later. May 7th, 2021, Maria gets her birth control arm implant out. She's from my hometown, and she was living in New Orleans at the time, so she could only be here on the weekends. So she came in town the next 2 weekends, May 14th and May 21st. We partied with my friends, she stayed over. She had someone take these pictures and then later tried to use them to prove we were in a relationship. We weren't. What was I supposed to say? Don't take a picture with me? And then I went to California. While I'm there, I posted with another girl, Whitney. She's only a friend, but Maria didn't know that. Maybe she got jealous, I don't know, but what she did next will never cease to amaze me. On June 6, 2021, Maria gets her period. She knows I didn't get her pregnant, and she also knows I'm about to move across the country. So she invites me to brunch, and she tells me she's pregnant, fully knowing that she's not. Then she starts drinking, like a lot. We then leave and go to another restaurant and meet up with my friend Dylan, and she also tells him that she's pregnant. Dylan and I think it's weird that she's drinking, but she insists it's okay. Here's the proof that this video is on June 6th.
Fuck this place, move to California.
Like, hey, you didn't get a lemon in you.
Oh, fuck, wrong way.
This video is dumb, but it shows two things. Maria was drinking, and I made it very clear that I was leaving. And that's important because that brunch, that's the last time I ever saw her until the week before the baby was born. Here's how we found out that she was on her period when she told me she was pregnant. Here's a photo she posted to TikTok to try to prove we were in a relationship. She changed the dates on the photos, but we'll get into that later. And then she posted this one. I then tell my girlfriend, who's a nurse, that she took that photo the day that she told me she was pregnant. And Hadley's like, hold up, there's no way. Let me see that ultrasound photo again. So we pull up the ultrasound that she sent my mom. The ultrasound was done on January 17th, 2022. And it showed that she was 32 weeks and 1 day. I've since learned that pregnancy is calculated from the first day of a woman's last menstrual period. And if we count back 32 weeks and 1 day from January 17th, 2022, we get June 6th, 2021, the day she told me she was pregnant. And we didn't sleep together that day either. Since she never saw me after that, that means that she knew from the beginning that I was never the father. Furthermore, here's proof that I'm in California the only weekend that she could have gotten pregnant. She trapped me before there was even a baby. And the crazy part, we probably would have never found out if she wouldn't have posted the photos. She exposed her own lie, and it only gets crazier from here. So this.
Okay.
Here's how I ended up the birth of a baby that I was only supposed to be a sperm donor for. July 12th, 2021, she confirms that she's actually pregnant. We only found that out later when she started posting on TikTok, but at that time she kept quiet. From July 22nd through July 26th, I was with my friend Whitney. She met my mom and she posted it on Facebook. Maria didn't know she was just a friend, and based on what happened next, I think she got jealous. Because not long after, Maria starts messaging my mom.
Hello.
Hey mama.
The night, I guess that we first met, I guess was that night at the half show. One of the first things after we introduced ourselves and sat down, I can remember her saying to me that she hoped that I didn't think that she took advantage of my son. And of course I gave a polite answer to that. We went on to discuss, and she mentioned, how I guess she was impressed with you to be so young and so successful at that age. I can remember her mentioning your house and all your toys.
From that point on, Maria started pulling my mom in deeper. She would ask for baby pictures of me, and she told her mom that baby's gonna look just like me. She made my mom feel important and needed, and when Maria told her that she had no one, my mom felt pressured to come to the birth.
She told me at some.
So this woman told me I got her pregnant. Here's how I ended up. You don't realize it's a. Sorry. So this woman told me I got her pregnant. Here's how I ended up the birth. She waited until I was fully in, and then she told the world. She didn't just lie, she made sure the lie had backup.
Chat, someone sent me her profile as well, because I can't find her videos. It seems like she's deleted her account here because I don't see any of her TikTok videos. But I want to see her side as well, if anyone can send it to me, or is it all gone now? She scrubbed it from the internet.
The day the baby was born, I was there, and I was the first person to ever hold the baby. And I just remember thinking, this is what it feels like to become a dad. I didn't care about anything else in that moment. My parents are there posting about how they're grandparents again. And then the nurse comes in, and she brings in the forms for the birth certificate and the acknowledgement of paternity. I signed everything because I thought the baby was mine, and Maria knew I would. After the birth, she scheduled a full-blown newborn photo shoot. She posed me holding the baby, and they would jump in the photos. She had my dog in the photos too, and had already ordered a bandana that said Big Brother. She shared the photos online, but I had no idea because I was already blocked on Facebook. She was posting pictures of me and the baby, making it look like we were this perfect little family. And while I'm across the country, she's messaging my childhood friends. She's asking my best friend Dylan and his girlfriend Megan to babysit, and they do. She starts asking my friends and family if they want to be the godparents. She didn't just ask one or two people, she told multiple friends they might be chosen. Literally, this is what my brother posted of me, the baby, and my friends. He joked, the godparents who didn't make the cut. And Maria liked the picture. At first, she kept things peaceful and calm. It's like she didn't want to risk pushing me away too fast. Once I was settled into this nice little world she created for me, that's when she started to tighten her grip.
I saw some people, I'm sure some of you are curious too about the ages. From what I understand, when they met, he was 24 and she was in her 30s, somewhere in her early 30s.
And that's when the real abuse begins. Part 5 coming tonight. You don't realize it's abuse when there's no bruises, but she didn't need violence.
Transfer of $10,000? What?
She used my love for the baby to control me. She waited until I was all in. Once I settled into my role as a father, once she knew I wasn't going anywhere, that's when it changed. The control started small, a comment here, a demand there, but it escalated fast. It was Easter 2022 and I flew home to see the baby. I spent nearly $900 on flights. My whole family was at the house. My parents, nieces, uncles, aunts, cousins. I blocked off my Airbnb and I hosted everyone including Maria and the baby. At first, things seemed normal. She was upstairs drinking, talking with my mom, being friendly. I was downstairs
What's with all the drinking? Oh, that's just,
with my cousin, just hanging out. The more she drank, the more her attitude started to shift. There was this edge to her, sharp glances and short responses. You could feel it building. Then, out of nowhere, she leans over the upstairs balcony, clearly drunk, and screams down at me in front of everyone, "Get your ass up here and take care of your child." My mom says this is the first time that she saw it. That Maria expected something from me way beyond what we agreed to. For me, it was the first sign that if I didn't do what she wanted, she would humiliate me in front of everyone. After that day, things shifted, subtly at first. But every time I didn't respond fast enough and give her what she wanted, she would use the baby against me. May 16th, 2022, she asked if her and the baby could stay in my Airbnb rent-free. I don't answer right away. A few hours later, she threatens to take the baby away from me, so I say yes. She moves in, I cover rent, utilities, internet, everything. Meanwhile, I can't rent it out during peak season. I'm losing money left and right, but I tell myself it's worth it to stay in the baby's life. August 2022, I come back again, so I have to drive an hour each day just to see the baby, and then an hour back just to sleep with my parents. I keep showing up, I keep complying, because by now, it's clear. I push back, I lose access. After she moved out of the Airbnb, the control didn't stop. She texted me, "This is what I want from you." She wanted me to start paying the full daycare amount, even though there was no court order in place. And in exchange, she said that I could have the baby every other weekend if I stay at my parents' house. I've never been arrested, I didn't use drugs, I've never been violent, abusive, or even raised my voice around her. There was no court ruling, no concern from a judge, nothing. It wasn't co-parenting, it was control. My access to the baby came with conditions that she made up as she went. Then, about a week later, she posted a photo on Instagram with the man that we now know is the dad. Just something to note, we'll get into that later. Then came the baptism. We talked about this in my first video, but here's a quick recap. I drove 14-hour round trip just to be there. The night before, she asked me to come hang out. I said no, I didn't want to give her the wrong impression. So she told me I wasn't allowed to come to the baptism, just like that. I didn't fight it, I just let my parents go instead. I was just trying to keep the peace. By summer of 2023, things took another turn. Now it wasn't just emotional pressure, it was legal. I was overwhelmed and hiring an attorney felt too expensive. Plus, I had no reason to question paternity. Maria told me if I didn't just sign what her lawyer sent, she would take me to court and get $1,400 a month in child support and $16,000 in back pay. I felt trapped. In those same messages, she said that she didn't want to go in front of a judge. Looking back now, that feels important. I agreed to pay $750 a month and $10,000 in back child support, just to avoid a legal battle. I didn't think I could win, so on August 21st, I wired her $10,000. You think that once the court order was in place, things would settle down, but they didn't. If anything, the control got worse. I made my first court-ordered child support payment on November 1st. Less than 2 weeks later, she's calling me names, refusing to let me keep the baby overnight, and demanding more money again. Even simple visits came with strict conditions. When I tried to coordinate a time to see the baby, she laid out impossible rules for pickup and drop-off. She told me exactly when, where, and how, and still refused overnight visits. She insulted me in one breath and demanded child support in the next. I gave her extra money, $30 here, $250 there, all outside the court order. I was trying to avoid conflict and trying to stay in the baby's life. Then out of nowhere, she texted me that she wants to be with me. I told her gently, again, that's not what I want. Days later, she posted photos of me and the baby at our house on Christmas morning, like we're a happy little family. By early 2024, it felt like there was no line that she wouldn't cross. February 1st, I make the court-ordered child support payment on time. On Valentine's Day, I posted this photo while I was out to dinner. I wasn't even in town, it wasn't my girlfriend, just a night out. Maria saw it and immediately started freaking out, texting that I should have taken the baby to dinner instead. Then she said, keep this up and I won't let you see her.
I'm sorry, what? Like, take the baby to dinner and it's like it sounds like she's literally like anytime she wants to say me, she just says baby instead of saying, like, literally she's just switching out the name.
Anymore. I sent her $100 for a Valentine's dinner for her and the baby. Just trying.
Where they do that at? Where do they do that at? Hey, I'm all for people loving their children, but where do they do that at? Where you take whatever. You know what? Whatever. I'm dumb. I don't know.
Trying to avoid another explosion. March 1st, I pay again. $750 in support, plus $31 extra for dance class. Again, not court ordered. Just trying to keep the peace. Then she posts birthday photos, thanking our family and best friends for coming to celebrate. We don't share family or best friends. She just went out of her way to find my family and friends, message them, and inserted herself into every part of my life. I paid for the birthday party, $364, so she didn't need extra money.
What? This child like 2 years old. What type of birthday party they done had? You just got pizza and popsicle sticks. They 300. All right.
However, the next day, she demands the child support payment 26 days early. When I say no, she tells me to die and says I'll never see the baby again. The next day, I sent her $156, not because I wanted to, or was ordered to by the courts, because I felt like I didn't even have a choice anymore. Then she posted even more birthday photos, this time at dinner with my family, like everything was normal. I guess because I paid her, she was happy. By this point, I was drained, financially, emotionally, mentally. She controlled when I could see the baby, how much I paid, what I was allowed to post, and how I lived my life. And every time I pushed back, she would punish me for it. It didn't matter how much I gave, she always wanted more.
Okay. We're obviously, there's still more to go. And I know some of you are wondering, how can someone be that stupid? But also you have to recognize, that when you're in it, for a lot of people, it's very hard to recognize the signs. And it takes a special type of person to step outside of yourself when you're in the situation and start asking yourself real questions. And for a lot of people, it takes them being pushed to an extreme before they realize something is really off here. But especially as a man, it's why I always advise, if I talk to men, I always advise them to be very intentional with the things that they do and never just be it's whatever type of guy. Because guys get this mantra of hey, it's whatever, we're just vibing, it's just fun, it's just vibes, whatever. And they live and die by that mantra until it comes to bite them in the ass. I'm not saying it's all his fault, but it's just one of those things that makes me think of, reasons why I like to be very intentional with relationships and just in general.
But his girlfriend is a little mastermind.
Those nurses who built giant platforms on TikTok for being such amazing, kind people, they were narcissists too. Specifically,
oh, I think these are headlines.
Hadley.
Girlfriend who was a nurse tampered with the test result. Nurse Hadley lost custody of all her children.
Okay, I want to take a moment to address the people saying I'm a clout chaser for addressing this again. This became an entirely different battle for me when they attacked Hadley. When I originally shared my story to clear my name, Maria, through her cousin, came online and spread horrible lies about Hadley. They said that she lost custody of her kids, that she was a felon, and that she tampered with the DNA test. None of those things are true, but so many people believed it. I watched the person I love cry while strangers made videos about her. They review bombed her book without even reading it, and despite all of that, she still stood by me. So yes, I came with a literal binder of receipts, and I'm going through it in order so they can't twist things again.
Someone send me Maria's profile. Why can't we see her videos? I want to see, where's all her side that went viral?
Because it's one thing to hurt me, but it's a whole other thing when you're attacking the person that I love. Hadley and I met at the gym, and we went on our first date on March 20th, 2024. About a month later, I brought Hadley to lunch with my mom. My mom told us about Maria texting her recently. Maria was saying that I was selfish, that I wasn't allowed to see the baby anymore, and that she didn't want the baby to grow up like me. Hadley said she can't do that. There's a court order. Because Hadley knew the system, she'd already been through it herself. On June 8th, we spent the day with the baby, Hadley's kids, and some close friends. We played cornhole, we went to a birthday party, and even had dinner with friends that night. It was just a good day. But when Maria found out that the baby and I were at Hadley's house, she lost it. She texted my mom saying I'll get to play house with their daughter. It's an interesting choice of words considering how the story ends. Maria demanded that I call her immediately or she's gonna call the police. I had to leave the baby with Hadley and her friend to go to another room so I could calm Maria down. Soon after, I go on a bachelor trip that was planned months in advance. While I'm gone, Maria jumps on Facebook and has a full-blown meltdown. She says I'm absent from the baby's life and that I skipped town on Father's Day. I had just seen the baby a few days ago and already had a flight booked to be back on Father's Day. But reality doesn't stand a chance when Maria opened social media. Her post was public, no matter how many times she claims it was only friends and family. This little globe icon says otherwise. There's no way it was only her 5,000 close friends and family. Hadley saw it, her family saw it, probably half the state saw it. She called me a deadbeat. She said that I put my dick in anything that walks and accused me of shoving hot dogs down my throat for Instagram likes, which honestly is pretty funny. But the real kicker, she ends it with, the truth is coming out and I'm not afraid to share it to the public anymore. She's all about freedom of speech until someone else starts talking. Anyways, she doesn't answer my calls or texts on Father's Day, so I don't get to see the baby. I'm not even shocked at this point. On June 20th, we head to the Bahamas for Hadley's brother's wedding. My parents were supposed to keep the baby for the weekend, but at the last moment, Maria asked if she could keep the baby instead. I say, sure, trying to keep the peace. Naturally, 2 seconds later, she's texting my mom. She's saying that I chose my girlfriend over my daughter, and now she's going back to court for full custody. My mom calls her out and says exactly what everybody else is thinking. You've micromanaged his every move, he's never bashed you publicly, and you've wished him dead more than once. And she was right. So it's June, and according to the court order, I'm supposed to have the baby for the whole month. But as usual, Maria was picking and choosing what rules apply. June 25th, this is what her family loves to twist. The infamous Lowe's incident. Here's what actually happened. The night before, on the phone, Maria told me that I could pick the baby up from school in the morning. So I did. We ran some errands, grabbed lunch, and then we went to Lowe's. While I'm there, I text her and ask if I can keep the baby overnight. She calls me immediately. Her response, not thanks, not sure. Is Hadley with you? I said yes, and instantly she flips. She says that she's coming to Lowe's right now. I was like, no, you're not gonna make a scene in Lowe's. I'll just drop Hadley off and then I'll bring her back to your house like we planned. I hang up and then I reiterate what I said on the phone through text. I put away my phone while I'm driving. I check my phone when I park at Hadley's house. Apparently, Maria's at Lowe's now. I had multiple missed calls from my dad. I call him back and he tells me that Maria has called him. And apparently she was running up and down the aisles at Lowe's screaming that her daughter had been kidnapped. Oddly enough, her family doesn't deny this part. They just said that I didn't answer the phone for hours. The drive from Lowe's to Hadley's house is 17 minutes. I called Maria back and she starts making threats. Hadley tells me to hang up and text her because I need this in writing. That enrages Maria, but we'll get back to that soon. Regardless, I brought it back with no issue. On August 5th, Maria lets me see the baby again. A few days later, she comes inside Hadley's house. She meets Hadley's kids, she goes into their bedroom, she even played dolls with one of her daughters for a minute. Then, when she comes back to pick the baby up, all 3 of Hadley's kids are there, standing at the door, waving by. And this is the same woman that went online and told people that Hadley lost custody of all of her kids. She knew that was a lie. She met the kids and stood in their home. That wasn't confusion, that was strategy. Maria knew that if she could convince people that Hadley was a terrible person, the attention would shift off of her, and the truth wouldn't matter anymore. She wasn't trying to defend herself. She was just trying to take Hadley down because she was helping me.
Chat, should we keep going or should we just let them be? Let them figure out their situation. We could keep going. How many more parts are there on this? Let me see.
That's when I immediately called my mom.
There's
I started
one,
telling friends and
two.
family, and everybody's in shock.
Oh wait, what is this? I don't know if we could watch that.
We thought Amanda was just...
Someone said it sounds like a Netflix movie. Is this, wait, what the heck?
Maria, I hope you're... We thought Amanda...
Part 11?
Maria,
No, we can't
I hope
do
you're
11.
listening. I'm about to...
What do you mean you're about to bury her? Okay, we're at the end here. This is the last episode of the series. Someone said it's a 2B movie. Okay, so we skipped to the end. So this is the last episode here. All right, so for those, we got to finish the story at least. All right, so this is apparently, he said he's going to bury her.
Bury every single lie you've ever told. Let's start with the first one. You told everyone I was the only possible dad, that we were trying for a baby and that you were so sure. But the second I file a paternity fraud lawsuit, You're going straight to the real dad. You're talking to him, you're planning play dates, yet you're still telling everyone the whole entire time that I'm the only possible father and calling me a liar.
Is still the father of my child, and that, again, we were trying for several months to have a baby.
You want to know who told me all about that? Your former best friend. You know, the same one you testified against in court. Remember her? And why would you do that? Is it because she started dating a man named Brian Dale? You know, the one who actually got you pregnant. But this isn't new for you. When a woman doesn't do what you want, you go for what hurts her the most, her kids. You did it to your best friend, and then you tried to do it to Hadley. You were commenting on her ex's page, liking photos of her kids. You didn't know anything about this man, and you're circling like a vulture. Because for you, kids aren't people, they're pawns. And every time that I get closer to the truth, you rewrite your entire story. I said we never dated, and you post old photos and change the dates to try and make it look like we were together. Maria, explain how we're wearing the exact same outfit in both your December and July photos. And who wears a leather jacket and jeans when it's 86 degrees out? I said I wasn't the dad, and you accused Hadley and I of tampering with the DNA test.
Her DNA?
So I asked for a court order test. Ooh, now you're hitting me with a gag order to shut me up. And when I spoke anyway, all of a sudden, the story changes again. And now, it's the real dad told me he could never have kids. So then, I pointed out that he had a wife and a newborn at home.
Oh, shit.
So,
Oh, shit. Okay.
the story changes again. Now, it's, he told me he had a vasectomy. But if you really believe that, explain this. When your former best friend got pregnant by him, 2 years after your child was born.
Okay. Okay.
Why didn't you say anything to me then? That didn't set off any alarm bells. Why wouldn't you come clean then? At least let me know you had some doubts. Because you already knew the truth. And Maria, here's what you don't know. I haven't been speculating about you knowing the truth. I've known for 6 months that you asked him to be a sperm donor. That's strange. The man that you're now claiming told you he was sterile. You asked him to get you pregnant on purpose. Maria, why would you ask a man with a vasectomy to be a sperm donor? You knew exactly who the father was from day one. And you don't just lie, Maria. You recruit people to lie for you too. And you turn on anyone who threatens your latest version of the story. And when that stops working, you destroy lives to stay in control. You didn't win in court, except for one thing. You managed to silence me for 6 months, and I'm not staying silent anymore. And if speaking the truth puts me in jail, so be it. This morning, Hadley and I walked into the courthouse and filed criminal charges against the people you sent to threaten us. You wanted to scare us into backing down, and all you did was prove that we were right to speak up. I spent years keeping the peace. Not anymore. Maria?
Okay. Chat. This is like an episode of Jerry Springer. I'm gonna have to do my research, and maybe we can find Maria's side of the story. I don't like only listening to one side, person's side of the story, because it creates biases. But I couldn't find Maria's page. I think she's deleted it because he was referencing her TikTok. I tried to search her name, but she doesn't have a profile up anymore. So we're gonna have to see if her videos are available on TikTok or not TikTok, on YouTube or somewhere else that we can watch them together. Because obviously we're not gonna be able to watch them on YouTube or on TikTok here. So if anyone has a link to the chronological order of all her videos that she posted and then deleted, obviously, and can send it to me via the Discord, that would be amazing. And then we can watch that together in the show. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. Okay, good amount. The parts that are important. All right, chat. Enough of the Maury drama. let's get into more drama. Okay, we're going from drama to drama. Okay, drama everywhere. It's that time of the day. It's an amazing time. It's an awesome time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and cry. Those of you who are OG Players Club members, you better spam it up in the chat if you know what time is coming. Do you know what time is coming? Do you know what time is coming? Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your clock. Don't look at your phone. Don't look nowhere else in your entire home. Loud or quiet, chat. If you don't know the time, I'm going to tell you the time. Loud or quiet? Loud or quiet? Which one? Yes. It's Discord time. Okay, chat. Enough silliness. Let's hop into our Discord segment of the show. For those of you who have no idea what Discord time is, I'm going to explain this to you right now. Discord time is where all of the amazing members of our Players Club Discord community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or their situationship, and I answer it live on the show. For those of you who have no idea how this works, I'm going to explain this to you right now. So we have our 3 sections in which you can submit a question to me. First section, our free section, you can submit your question by going to the link in my bio if you're watching this on TikTok, or in my description if you're watching this on YouTube, and you can drop your question in where you click where it says Players Club, Discord, Players Club, the Players Club Discord, I should say. And then when you click that, you can drop your question into our free section. Now, keep in mind, in the free section, it is a first come, first serve section. So as you can see here, all these highlighted questions, all these different topics and preguntas for me, I'm just one person. And so these highlighted ones I haven't gotten to yet. So it's going to take me obviously some time before I can get to each individual question. So if you ask a question in the free section today, let me just make sure it's in the right view here. If you ask your question in the free section today, it's not going to be answered today just because the free section obviously has a lot of other questions that I still need to get to, okay? So if you are someone who is very impatient and you ask your question, whether today or even tomorrow, and you want it to be answered as soon as I possibly can, either this show or the next show, then you ask your question through our premium Discord relationship advice section. Now, the way that you get access to this section is the only way you're allowed to do it. You have to first go to the link in my bio if you're watching this on TikTok, or in my description if you're watching this on YouTube. Click where it says Premium Discord Relationship Advice. Then when you click that, you'll be prompted to send in a donation to the show. In your donation, you're also going to attach the title of your question and your Discord username so that when you send in the donation, I get a notification on my phone that that's you, that that's your question, and that that's your username. That way I know when I see it here in the premium section that your question belongs here and it's supposed to be here, okay? I have some questions sitting here. I feel bad because I missed last week's show, okay? So the third way for you to submit your question to me, if it's not going to be through the premium section, is for those of you who don't want your information to be read live on the show, by going to the private relationship advice link there for you guys in the Discord, or also it's available in the link in my bio on TikTok or in my description on YouTube. Click where it says private relationship advice. And then you can click that link and ask me a private question about your relationship or situationship. Ask it to me, and then I'll respond to you with a voice message, usually 8 to 10 minutes long, addressing your situation or giving you some perspective on it if that's what you're looking for, okay? Let's get started with our first premium question of the day. I have lots of questions to go through today because we did miss last Thursday, okay? How to shift expectations. Des says, Tomisin, thank you so much for your work. I'm 33 and going on a low-key first coffee date with a man who's 50. I've matched with on a dating app tomorrow. We're both ethically polyamorous. When we first matched, I was still healing from a breakup and not looking for anything serious, and told him I was looking for friends with benefits. That was 2.5 months ago, and now I'm feeling more ready for something serious. But you're polyamorous, so what's the difference between not looking for anything serious and friends with benefits and something serious when you're polyamorous? I'm very confused with when does it become serious? The couple months delay was me, not him, for unrelated health reasons, so not a red flag in this case. We had coffee planned, but I had to cancel due to my health. He was patient and still very interested despite the slow pace. We have kept texting to a minimum, but enough to see we have plenty in common. He is super respectful and shows his interest in me as a person. I have black cat energy and I'm used to guys falling for me. I can see us having a healthy friends with benefits situation if that's more of a vibe. But I'm thinking 25 steps ahead, like you taught us. And if I decide I really like this guy, I could want more. No. You're not doing this right. No. Okay. I'm actually going to take a stretch for this because you're worrying me here. And I'm actually a little bit, okay, I'm going to take a stretch because I'm a little bit confused with how you're going about this. And, it's worrying me that this is going to end up tragic because, okay, I'm going to explain this. in a second. I'm just going to stretch my hammies. Oh, boy. Okay. Here's the thing, okay? Right now, you're worrying me, Des, because you're talking multiple things at the same time, and you can't have multiple things at the same time. It just doesn't work like that. You need to pick one outcome that is your desired outcome and stick to that desired outcome. What I mean by that is you started off your message saying, when we first matched, I was healing from a breakup, and I wasn't looking for anything serious. That's already a bad start. If you're not looking for anything serious, then don't date. Okay, that's already a bad start. Then you told him that you were looking for friends with benefits. What do you think that communicates to him? I'm going to be able to get access to this girl for free, for nothing, for no investment. That sounds like a great deal. You want to know why he was sticking to you? Because he was like, great opportunity for me to get this girl and access to her, this beautiful, young, hot girl for nothing. That's why he was sticking around. How many times is a girl going to offer her beautiful young body, voluptuous body, to his 50-year-old self for free, for nothing, for no investment? Most 50-year-old men have to pay out the arm and the leg to get access to even a 33-year-old woman, right? Because of the age difference, you're looking for something totally different. And if he's going for you, it's probably because you're really beautiful, really attractive, all that good stuff. So the reason I'm saying that is because if we're thinking about it like that, why are you offering yourself to this man for nothing? From the start, you're the one saying it. And now you're saying you're looking for something more serious. But which one do you want? Because you're saying you're looking for something more serious. Then you're saying, I'll see if I like the friends with benefits vibe. And if I don't, then I'll change my mind. It doesn't work like that. Because when you say to a guy, hey, I'll offer myself to you for free, and then you turn around and say, actually, no, now I want you to pay a subscription, he gets confused, he gets frustrated, and he says, wait, what happened to me getting access to you for free? And once you lower your standard and you let a guy see you as, hey, you're the free access girl, no investment girl, and then you try to now turn around and have standards and boundaries, all these guys start saying, wait, why do you want to have standards and boundaries now? because they're like, why not have the same mindset the entire time? I don't want to change it up now. If you're going to be the no standards girl before, be the no standards girl all the time. But then you end up frustrated because you're like, wait. But like, now I actually want you to take me serious. And they're like, no. I'm also more used to romantic relationships. I'm poly wifey. And prefer them. He appears to have traits I would want in a long-term partner. If we date, I'm planning to maintain a pace and avoid pineapples for at least 2 months regardless. So, okay. I don't have a problem with you being poly, okay? I'm not going to judge if you have an alternative lifestyle. That's perfectly fine. But choose one outcome. This is the problem. This is where the problem actually starts. You have to make up your mind. What is your desired outcome? You can't say in one breath, I want something serious, and then another breath, no, I'm also thinking about friends with benefits. And then in another breath, you're saying, oh, I'm used to being a wifey. And then in another breath, hey, but our friends with benefits is going to be me holding out on sleeping with him for 2 months. I'm confused. You're confused. He's going to be confused. Everyone's going to be confused. How can you tell a guy you want friends with benefits and then be talking about, hey, I'm holding out? He's going to be like, what do you, like, what's going on? I need someone to trust. I need to trust someone before I sleep with them. That's fine. I'm not saying you're a bad person for that. But what I'm saying is, what is your desired outcome here? I don't understand what your desired outcome is. What do you want out of the situation? Because you're telling me multiple things at the same time. My question is, what are some cool, dignified ways to shift the expectation and tension I'd given earlier of what I'm looking for? I don't even know what you're looking for. I'm scared. I'm worried for you. You structured and organized your question so that it would make sense and it would be coherent and it would be one thought that I could answer for you. Even in reading your question, I don't know what you want. You said both extremes. I want friends with benefits. I want something serious. I want to be a wifey, but I also want to be this to be casual, but I also want to wait to sleep with it. I genuinely don't know what you want at all. Not even I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm genuinely, seriously, I don't understand which one what is your desired outcome, because it seems like you have all of them at the same time. Do I even have to do that, or should I just chill out? No, I think you should decide what your desired outcome is first. Do nothing and see what energy he brings me. I know I can't make him fall for me, but I don't want to damage the chances that he may fall for me. Thinking of at some point saying something like, I'm feeling more ready to date romantically. No, that'll be a mistake. At this point, and I prefer that, but I understand if it isn't really what you're looking for, and letting him correct if I'm wrong. No, that's not at all. Don't dream of doing that. Don't do that. I wish I could have answered your message the moment you asked it, the day you asked it, because this could go so horribly wrong. I'm scared. Do not. The worst thing you can do with men is seem like you don't know what you desire in terms of like how you want to be treated. If you start flip-flopping and saying, I'm friends with benefits one day, girl, and then start saying, I'm wifey girl another day, and then start saying, I'm casual girl another day, and then let's start saying, hey, you better be on your hands and knees worshiping me the other day. When are you going to take me on dates? But you're also wanting to just have fun. It doesn't work like that. You need to give men one desired outcome. And you're not going to say it to him, but your expectation should be either a man meets my expectation for the desired outcome I have. If he does not, he will not get access to me, point blank. Even if you're poly and you say, my goal here is to be in a poly relationship, whatever the case may be, then work towards that goal. If he does not meet your standards for that goal, do not give him access to you and move your life forward. Like I said, I have no problem with an alternative lifestyle. If you choose to do the alternative lifestyle, though, pick your outcome. Decide for you where you want to stand, what type of relationship you want, what type of dynamic you want, What is your desired type of partner? How do you want your partner to treat you? It's not about saying, oh, this man has to treat me that way and I'm going to twist his arm to do that. You have to decide for yourself what your desired outcome is first before you go into a relationship, because how are you supposed to know if you're moving in the right direction with the man or not if you don't know what your desired outcome is? It's like dating a man and saying, I don't know where I want this dating situation to go. I'm just hoping that he will somehow show me where it should go. That makes no sense. Because then that man can wander in circles with you forever and you won't know if you're happy, you won't know if you're sad, you won't know if you're getting closer to your destination or you're farther from it. You'll just be running around in circles as well, which is honestly, you're gonna be frustrated with yourself and with him and with your relationship after a while. Because I promise you, having fun sounds fun at the beginning until you're 6 months into having fun, 1 year into having fun, 2 years into having fun, and you're looking around at your other friends, you're looking around at your family members, siblings, and things like that, and it seems like they're progressing in their relationships. Their relationships are getting more serious over the course of time with more commitment, right? And your relationships are stagnating or going in circles or maybe even going backwards. And then you're looking around and you're going to be like, I'm so unhappy with my situation. I'm so unhappy with my progress because there is none. I'm so unhappy with where we're at. I don't know where we're at. And I'm questioning everything. And I have no security because emotional security is big for you as a woman. And then you'll be asking the question, hey, all this time when I was allowing you to do whatever and go in circles and have no direction with me and deal with me like that, can you now all of a sudden change who you are, treat me differently, have direction, and do everything that I want a man to do now that I'm realizing it's a waste of time for us to go in circles? And then he's going to be like, all I'm able to do is go in circles. I'm only good for going in circles and wasting time. I'm not good for direction. And then you're going to be frustrated because you wasted 1 year of your life, 2 years of your life going in circles with a guy who has no direction and no intention with you. Stop wasting time. Ask yourself your own honest question, what your desired outcome is. Then we can start working from there. I can't help you if I don't know what your desired outcome is, and I really don't. You've said multiple things that are all completely different from each other. So until you decide what you know you want for yourself and nothing else, that's when you can start moving in one positive direction. You can't move in all the directions at the same time. Just not possible. Okay. Let's go into our next question here. Okay, damn, was I gone for that long? 7 days. A bit of a confusion with my ex. Barry Lana says, hi, I hope you're doing well. I need to share something that's been confusing me lately, and I would love your opinion on it to know better in the future. So after breaking up with my boyfriend, he told me he didn't see a future for us, and I respect that. We didn't have contact. I answered that I understand his POV, and wish him all the best. Sorry, I was trying to understand what you were trying to say. We were in no contact until May 8th, when he texted me wishes for International Women's Day. Okay. I didn't reply and removed him from Instagram. Okay, that's at least good that that's what you did, because that's such a pointless. He continued liking my stories, but then he unfollowed me shortly after. Perfectly fine. On my birthday, March 19th, he sent me birthday wishes and said I deserve everything the best, and he liked one of my posts. Should just ignore that. It's a pointless activity. I haven't replied to any of his messages or interactions because I respected his decision to end things, as you should. That's the best way to respond to that. You don't want to be with me? Fine. But I'm not going to be casually chit-chatting with you. You better not think so. More recently, on April 11th, he liked one of my older posts from my stories. Sorry, one of my older photos from my stories. One of me having fun and just looking pretty. I just ignored that, as you should. But that was weird to me. Don't let it bother you too much. Don't waste your time thinking about it. Move forward. Don't reach out. Don't respond. Keep the strength here. What I don't understand is why he's suddenly doing this. He was the one who ended things. So why would he be liking my photos and sending me these messages? Normally, after a breakup, I just don't have any contact with my ex, so this behavior is new to me. Okay, let me let you in on something. If you really want him to regret losing you, let him have actually lost you. And just bask in the feeling of knowing that he's probably liking your pictures and texting you all this stuff and messaging you all this stuff because he's regretting his decision a little bit. Because maybe when he broke up with you, he thought the grass would be greener on the other side. He thought there was so much out there for him. And maybe it's not as amazing as he once thought it might be. Now, what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to appease him or ease his anxiety by coming back into his life or casually talking to him as if you have nothing better to do with your life. If he broke up with you, perfectly fine. Ain't no hater in you, right? But what you're not going to do is you're not going to allow him to continue chit-chatting with you when he realizes he may have made a mistake here, okay? You laid your bed or you made your bed, you go ahead and you lay in it. Live with that, stand on that, be about that. Because when your life moves on and you're doing better and maybe he has a different perspective on things or he changes his mind on things, hey, you got to live with your decision, right? That's the philosophy you should have. So don't validate him by replying or responding to him at all. Please don't. You're having so much power here. From a man's perspective, why would he do this? What could be his motivations? I have no interest in getting back together, but I find his actions really confusing and wanted to understand what could be going on here. Is this a common thing for men to do? I'd really appreciate hearing your thoughts on this. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Like I said, it's really about one, maybe he thought the grass was greener on the other side. And maybe he thought he had a chance with some other girls. Maybe his ego was getting boosted. And maybe a girl that he was kind of thinking about talking to after he breaks up with you, things fizzled out or didn't work out. And now he's realizing, hey, I probably don't have too many other options now. Excuse me, that could be number one. Number two, okay, right, is maybe he broke up with you. And in the process of breaking up with you, he didn't realize all that he was getting by being with you, being around you. He didn't realize how much value you were bringing to his life. And now he's realizing it's probably a little bit lonely out there, right? Even if he wasn't talking to a girl, maybe he's tried and it wasn't working out for him. Either way, or it could be also just simply about ego, about feeling like, does he still have control over you? Can he still get you to miss him, talk to him, reach out to him, chat with him to see if he has that same emotional control over you? And you not responding clearly shows him that he doesn't, which is an ego hit. But that's good. We want his ego to be hurt, not because, you want to hate on him for breaking up with you. But if he makes his decision to break up with you, then make your decision to break up with you. Don't make your decision to break up with you and then be coming back around messaging like you guys are friends. Don't let him downgrade you, okay? Because it's almost like he's trying to turn you into some like casual friend that he chit-chats with every now and again when you were once his girlfriend, okay? No point in doing that and no point in responding. So it could be any one of those possibilities, but no matter which one it is, none of that justifies you responding to him because you have moved on with your life and he has to live with his decision, okay? Very, very important. All right, let's go into our next question here. Our next question comes from Princess in 40. Urgent mishap. Hi, Tommy. I think I messed up. As you know, I was supposed to be seeing Ghanaian man on the 15th since he had agreed to take me to my doctor's appointment. You suggested that I have deep conversation with him in person to understand where he is mentally. The day before my appointment, I asked him to confirm whether he could still take me. And he went the whole day without texting me. I even went out of my way to call, but he didn't answer. I'm not going to lie, I was in my feelings. There's nothing wrong with that. If you guys had a plan to go to a thing or do a thing together and he didn't answer, that's perfectly justified in being upset, okay? Given the past circumstances, I was feeling prematurely let down. I ended up sending a breakup message at 2 a.m. and blocked him on all my socials. The next morning, he texted me and said he understood why I felt the way I did. He also said he felt guilty because he hasn't been able to treat me the way he wants to due to financial reasons. Okay, financial reasons is one thing, but it's a whole nother thing to say that he just couldn't even respond to you when you guys had a set date. Or at least like he was supposed to take you to your appointment. Like that has nothing to do with finances, okay? He assured me that he was still planning to bring me, but didn't respond the night before because he got called into work and hadn't been on his phone all day. Not a valid excuse because you get called into work, you update someone on what's going on because especially if someone's relying on you to take them to their appointment, like they need to know what's going on. If you can't make it or you're going to be late or whatever the case may be, he lets you know. Right. And like, it's just be an adult. Just be an adult. Whether he was still planning on taking you or not, just be an adult. OK, I'm not subscribing to that. He said he was excited to tell me the good news about his job, but I had already blocked him and ended things. I'm not buying that. I'd have to hear what is his current job, because unless he's working like some sort of job like police officer or fireman where literally he cannot pick up the phone and text, I just find it hard to believe. We're talking, because you said you sent him the breakup message at 2 a.m. So it's like the day before your appointment, you're asking him, what's going on for tomorrow, and he doesn't answer you the whole day. So if we're talking about upwards of 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, come on, bruh. Like, not a single moment that he could send you. I even know police officers that could find 1 minute in an 8-hour shift to send a single message or just be like, oh, yes, we're on for tomorrow, or I'm at work, whatever. Like, come on. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, bro. Not buying it. Not buying it. He said he was so excited to tell me, and then I blocked him. Anything. Needless to say, he didn't come. I felt like I was being gaslit because he had never gone the whole day without texting me, especially the day before we were supposed to see each other. Exactly. Still, I take accountability for expecting the worst too soon. I was triggered by the past, and since he never really made up for those times, I think the hurt is still lingering. I can admit I should have waited until the actual day to assess his actions rather than sending the message in the middle of the night. You're correct in that assessment. However, you are justified in being upset about that response because, bro, like, not one mess. I'm even just to say I'm at work or I'm doing something or I'll text you back in a bit. If it's if he was really that excited about going with you tomorrow, he couldn't send one message and he's that excited. It just doesn't add up, right? That said, I hate that this could have all been avoided with a simple yes, whether he was at work or not. A short message would have gone a long way. I'm not trying to be needy. I don't nag him to text me constantly. His communication has been extremely low. Phone calls have completely stopped. I think it might be due to the first time I ended things, and maybe he's being distant because of that. But if he begged for me back, why is he distant? He said he was genuinely happy and looking forward to bringing me to my bringing me to my appointment because it felt like a husband privilege to be able to take me to my... It's a gynecologist appointment? Okay. I apologize for how I reacted and took accountability as well. But since I didn't get to see him, we never had this convo in person that you suggested. A few days before all of this happened, he mentioned during a text conversation that he had decided to focus on AWS computing. For those of you who are unaware, this is software engineering, and it stands for Amazon Web Services Computing, okay? So he's working for Amazon in the software area. Wants to, at least. He also shared that he's struggling financially, so he's not there yet. That's where he's trying to get to. I didn't bring up any of this. My plan was to wait to talk about it in person, but he brought it up on his own. That at least tells me he has clear career direction. Still, he's clearly going through it financially and maybe even mentally, which could explain his distance. Also, he paid off the situation with his mom. His mom needed surgery, for those of you who are unfamiliar. She's healed, so that's been over. Also, the next day we have set is on the 25th, I'm assuming of this month, which would be 25th is my birthday, actually. That's my birthday, if you're talking about the April 25th. You guys are going to go on a date on my birthday? Oh, so exciting. Have fun for me. We have a date set for the 25th, which would be me treating him to dinner for his B-day. His B-day is the same day as mine? Wait, what? You're not dating me. Who's your man? His birthday is the same day as mine? Interesting. Do you suggest this? I mean, it's his birthday. I would love for you guys to have a conversation before this, though. I really hate that the first time you guys are seeing each other in a while is his birthday, where you know how birthdays are. Like, you don't want to bring up things that are too heavy or get into an argument with someone on their birthday. And I hate that because it's like when it's their birthday and you have things on your mind or there's some topics that really need to be discussed, it's like those things have to get put to the side for the sake of the birthday. You know, because you don't want to be saying, talking about the stuff that's going to make someone cry or upset during the birthday. So, like, I wish that it's the 21st now. I just wish that you guys could have a conversation beforehand. But honestly, damn, I'm gonna sound like a horrible person saying this. You might have to have the conversation on the birthday. Like, you might have to have the first half of the birthday is good, fun. And then the second half of the birthday, you might have to get down to the real. You might have to talk the real, because we don't know when you're going to see him again, as infrequent as it's been. And it's gonna be hard for you as well to hold it in for so long and go the whole birthday without discussing this. You know, maybe if it's a couple hours, the dinner, the whatever the case may be, you guys, don't, go into too deep about what's been going on. But at some point, you're gonna feel like, damn, I need to get this off my chest. And I think you should. I think after, when the birthday's winding down, if it's getting, closer to like 8, 9 p.m., you've done your things, he's got his presents, you've had your dinner, whatever the case may be, I think then you guys should have a bit more of a serious conversation. Okay? And because it's just, I don't know when you're going to see him again. And I don't want you to go the whole day holding it in and feeling like, damn, I didn't talk about any of the things that I really wanted to talk about. And I also don't want him saying, well, why didn't you tell me about those things last time you saw me, right? Someone says, the man that she's talking to is Ghanaian. I'm Nigerian, so she's not dating me, but we just happen to have the same birthday as the message that she's sending. Imagine someone was sending a message about me on the show. That'd be crazy. Okay. Which would be mean treating. I was ready to walk away, but now I feel like this is my fault. I'm including our text convo at the bottom. Please read. Let me know where I went wrong. You will be upset with me because it was a lot of over-explaining, and I know you advise talking over the phone, but I didn't want to hear his voice in that moment, and he hasn't called for 2 weeks now, so I wasn't going to call him. Questions below. Was I being gaslit? How can I help him in this time? Should I see how things go on the 25th? So these are some of your messages. Let's open this up in browser here. Okay. Hey, I've taken some time to think, and I don't think this is working out for me anymore. I've tried to be understanding and patient, but I'm no longer feeling aligned or fulfilled by this connection. I truly wish you the best with everything ahead. Take care. Oh, hey, good morning. So my question here, was he working some sort of overnight shift? Because, okay, let's just break things down logically. Let's just be adults here. I don't think he's possibly working a 24-hour shift. So are we saying that his shift went from the morning that you texted him or the day that you were texting him to the nighttime? You send him a message at 2 a.m. breaking up with him. He doesn't send you a message until 9 a.m., basically the work day the next day. So my question is, why didn't he even send you a response or a message when he was finishing his shift and going to bed? Because he said here, good morning. How are you doing? I went to work yesterday. They called me in to come in, got home around 12 a.m. Okay. So when you sent him this message, that means that he got home. I was so tired. I wanted to call you when I wake up, but you didn't. You also didn't send a message when you got home. So, okay, let's even pretend he got home at 12 a.m. like he said. Let's say, for the sake of argument, right, that when he got home at 12 a.m., he was super exhausted, right? Super exhausted, so exhausted he couldn't even watch TikTok. In the process of him being so exhausted, you're telling me this man that was so excited to see you the next day couldn't look at his phone, and just before he lays his head down to fall asleep, he couldn't send the message and say, yes, I'm coming tomorrow, but I'm so tired, I gotta go to bed? I was born at night. I wasn't born last night. Come on, man. Because it doesn't even seem like he has the level of urgency that he's describing he has with you. Because, like, if he was really like, oh, I finished work at 12 a.m. and I was so excited to see you, like, at least then say, yeah, we're on for tomorrow. Why wait till the next day? Why not send that message beforehand? Because even though you sent this message at 2 a.m., you sent a message before that to ask him to confirm if you guys were on for tomorrow. So he could have said yes. He saw that message. He knew it was there. Is he texting that many people that he Come on, man. No. Come on, man. This type of stuff makes me mad because it's you can't even bother trying to explain to people how stupid it is, their explanation or their excuse. Right? Someone says, when's my birthday? My birthday is April 25th. You thought I was going to cancel on you so it's coming up soon. You thought I was going to cancel on you today too or not? Oh, nah. By the way, chat, I'm not doing anything for my birthday. I thought maybe you guys think I'm doing something extra. I'm not doing anything. But I understand. I also feel the guilt since my job issue happened. Cool. I haven't been treating you like I want to. That has nothing to do with responding to a text. Okay. Been a while since I got you flowers. I haven't seen you in a long time, which I was coming to see you today. Cool. That has nothing to do with sending you a text to just say, yeah, I'm coming tomorrow. None of that has anything to do with that. Okay. Let me see here. This is the next one. So he's sending you a message that he put it in his calendar, a screenshot. I made a reminder the day I said I was going to take you. Got the reminder on the 13th. You think I'm that bad to not take you when I promised to take you? Cool. That doesn't really address the issue that you're having. Well, obviously you didn't say that in your message, but it doesn't address the issue of like, hey, you could have just said like, yeah, like we going out tomorrow. It doesn't really address that issue, right? Because it's still inappropriate to go about it like that when you know someone's relying on you to take you to an appointment. Okay. Going the whole day without saying anything the day before you promised to take me somewhere is obviously going to make me feel like you are canceling again. It's been a pattern. Honestly, you're very justified in feeling like that. I would feel like that as well. Oops. Let me open this in browser. Like you're canceling again, it's been a pattern, so it's not really fair to make it seem like my reaction was invalid. Either way, you have a lot going on, and my intention has never been to be a distraction or a hindrance on your path. Life is going in the way, it got in the way, and I get it. Keep going, you got this, take care. You're overthinking this whole thing, I think he meant to say. I told you I'll come, and I said you don't have to worry about asking me again because I'll come. You've already made your decision, so I don't have a point to prove. Understood? See, I would say sure, maybe you were a little bit overreacting, except this is, like you mentioned, a pattern of behavior where he has canceled last minute with you on plans multiple times. Okay, that's actually the main reason why you guys haven't seen each other in so long, because every time you schedule something, he's a no-show or he cancels. So you're very justified in having that anxiety leading up to the actual day and trying to confirm that you guys are going to see each other. Nothing about what you did, or it's nothing about what you felt, I should say, was unjustified or unfair. Okay. Let me see here. You were so upset. Oops. You were so upset that you blocked me on your socials. This is the second time you've done this. You made it look like you don't want to have anything to do with me anymore. It's sad. You are blaming me for my reaction when you are the one who went the whole day without updating me. Usually I wouldn't care, but you know I had an appointment today. You could have easily quickly responded with yes, LOL. You don't put LOL when you're serious, okay? This is a word of advice. Anytime you have an issue with someone and you want to address them, I don't advise anyone to address someone over text. Don't put LOL as if you're joking. Anytime you're serious, be serious so that people know that you're serious. LOL can send a weird vibe that you're not taking it serious or you don't care as much. You know there has been a pattern of you canceling on me. So to blame me for my reaction is insane. You could have easily fixed the situation. Now you want to shift blame on me. You're not taking any accountability. Yes, I could have, but I wasn't on my phone all day. I came home tired and I didn't realize that you've texted me. My phone was on personal mode. What does that mean? You mean do not disturb? I saw your call when I got home. So this is actually even worse. He's acknowledging that he knew that you had reached out for confirmation about the next day. And I was like, it's too late. I'll call you when I wake up. Surprisingly, I woke up to, and I'm assuming he's going to say this message. That's irrelevant. It actually makes it worse because if he's aware of the fact that your expectation was, hey, are you going to take me to my appointment tomorrow? And he knew that he was going to bed and he hadn't answered that entire day, then he should have been proactive. If he was so excited to see you, he should have been proactive enough to say, yeah, we're on tomorrow still. Knowing, because if he's thinking, oh, I'll call you when I wake up, he also knows that if you wake up to that message, it will ease your anxiety a lot more than not waking up to that message. It's very stupid. It's very stupid. Let's see if there's anything here more that's relevant. Personal mode besides the day. I just started. I honestly wasn't going to cancel on you. More excuses, more excuses. You even said it. These all sound like excuses. Why are they excuses? It has nothing to do with you blocking me everywhere. It has nothing to do with you telling me you come out. Update. More excuses, more excuses. Okay, now you've really gotten into over explaining. here. Okay. And you guys are going just, so now I can see here, you've gone through your main arguments, both of you, and you're just going in a loop here. So this is it. I get it. I've been there as well. You're just in a loop. You guys are both saying the same thing over and over again because neither person is seeing it the other person's way, which is fine. That's fine. We all go through this. So my point here is you are justified in feeling what you felt. Don't be gaslit into feeling like this was unjustified. But however, obviously blocking him is not an ideal way to deal with it, but I think that he definitely should have confirmed with you, especially considering why you guys ended in the first place because of all of this wishy-washy, canceling last minute type of thing. Okay. So this is an update of today. He and I have been texting, still no phone calls. He mentioned he wants to introduce me to his friend when he sees me in person on the 25th. So he wants to introduce you to his friend on his birthday. We'll see about that. Things seem fine between us and he is back working. He seems happier now that he is working again. Was it his previous job loss that made him distant, you think? I think let's see how the birthday goes. Let's see if he actually even follows through with the birthday, because I'm worried now. Today, the 21st, is his birthday. Sorry, his birthday is the 21st today, but you guys are doing the planning for the 25th. The plan for the 25th is I'm taking him to dinner. Go out to dinner for me. Out to see a movie, the movie Sinners. Oh, that one with Michael B. Jordan. I should see that one. I should go out and see that one, chat. And then we'll come back to my place and I'll sing him happy birthday. I'll decorate little balloons for him, etc. I have gifts for him, which is an engraved pen that says his favorite quote, a keychain that tells him to drive safe, his favorite snacks, and a t-shirt with his favorite basketball team. Do you recommend this is too much? He'll be sleeping over on the 25th into the 26th, so maybe we can talk the next day instead. What should the serious convo be about? What questions should I ask? I think I addressed what questions you should ask and discuss with him in your last question that you sent in. So it's the same questions, right? You haven't even gotten to have the conversation yet. So it's that conversation. Now, as it relates to having the discussion, if he's going to sleep over, and you want to table the discussion till after the birthday celebration, you know what? I'm not even going to be mad at you. All I will ask, though, is please make sure you have the discussion. My concern is, to be honest with you, I'll tell you my deepest concern. My deepest concern, though, is if you guys do the birthday, you don't have a conversation about this, and then now you feel conflicted about sleeping with him if things start to heat up. Because you're like, I have a lot of questions on my mind, but I also feel like it's your birthday now and we're supposed to be having a good time. So I feel like I'm not supposed to bring it up, but now we're like doing an intimate thing. So now I haven't addressed the stuff and now I feel like addressing it because I feel like it's too awkward for me to go through with this. That's my concern. So here, I'll give you two options. Okay. And you can choose which one feels the best for you. One, you can table this until the 26th, but that means you got to be hard and fast on intimacy, meaning there ain't no sleeping together. You're not really going to do too much cuddling. Ain't no sleeping in your bed or staying around in your bed. Ain't no being under the blankies. Ain't none of that. Okay. Because you don't want to fall into the trap. Okay. If you're going to have the conversation the next day, wait until you have the conversation to do anything intimate or close that will tempt you. If you want to look forward to some sort of intimacy later in the night of the birthday celebration, then my advice to you is to have the conversation with him midday. Maybe after you guys see each other initially or right after the birthday dinner, have the conversation with him and then see how you feel after that. If you're clear of your conscience and you feel like you talked your lungs out, then you can go ahead and have your intimate moment. It doesn't have to be you sleeping with him, but enjoy the rest of the birthday night, if that makes any sense. If you haven't had that discussion, though, no intimacy whatsoever. Don't do it. Because you'll feel too conflicted about all the stuff that's on your mind. It won't feel right. Whichever you choose, the conversation has to come before the intimate part. So if you save the conversation for the next day, ain't no intimacy on the 25th. Okay? If you're going to have intimacy, you want to do that on the 25th, then you're going to have conversation on the either afternoon of the 25th or you're going to have it before you guys go to bed at least. Okay? So that way you have options and you can decide what makes the most sense for you based on what vibe you're getting here, okay? Also, look out for, make sure he's not just telling you what you want to hear, because he's also looking forward to the possibility of sleeping with you. Make sure when you ask him these questions, you don't make it seem like this is the difference between me sleeping with you or not. This is the difference between, me giving you a good, nightcap or not. Let him just feel like this is a casual conversation of things that you're curious about. You want to understand better about him. Okay, that's the best way to go about this. All right, let's go into our next couple of questions here. I know there are a bunch in the free section that I haven't gotten to get to. Okay, so I'll try and do a few here today. Okay, I want to make sure I don't. What the hell is this? He came back with a bottle. Okay, no, we did that one. I was like, what? Drunk words, sober thoughts. This one was answered. Traps. Yes, this one answered as well. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so this one was not answered by LP Baby. Someone says, is it okay to, LP Baby says, is it okay to ask you a question? Ask me a question? We'll see. Hi, Tommy. How is being sarcastic perceived and received when being playful with guys? I love being sarcastic and a little extra, love cracking jokes, love to tease and make people laugh. I just want to be perceived and receive queen treatment and not jester treatment. Kindly advise on finding a balance. So the balance is really just finding the timing that's appropriate and not cracking jokes when things are meant to be serious. So for example, if you're having a conversation where someone is addressing something that bothers them, something that you've done to hurt them, or something that they've done to hurt you, very important to not be cracking jokes during that time. That'll turn you into a court jester where you don't take anything serious, whether it's you or the other person. That's very unattractive. I'll be honest with you. That's super unattractive. I was debating on whether I should change and be more demure, feminine, more quiet, and not sarcastic, a little tease, less of a jokester. Nothing wrong with being a jokester. It's just the right time and place. So you don't put jokes in times and places that are meant to be serious. That's just a feeler that you have to get good at understanding when is a good time and place to be serious. Anytime someone is addressing their feelings on something, not a time to be joking, okay? Anytime someone is addressing their gripe on something or something that someone did to hurt or upset the other person, not a time to be joking, not even in the slightest, okay? It just sends the wrong message and people don't take you seriously either, okay? Because I'm sure when you're upset, especially when you're upset, you're going to want people to take your upsetness and your problems and your issues very seriously. You're not going to want them to be making jokes. What are your thoughts on this? With me or any girl being a little bit of a jokester and sarcastic when interacting with men via texting, phone, and talking in person. There's nothing wrong with being sarcastic. I'm all for dark humor. I'm all for jokes. It's just a balance. And then there's a fine line between a joke and being disrespectful. So an example of that would be telling someone, let's say, for example, you're like, hey, that bright red dress, you look so bright. I could see you from across the room. You're never going to be able to hide in that dress, right? That's like a little bit of a lighthearted joke. Now, what's not a joke is telling a girl, hey, you probably shouldn't wear that dress again. You look quite overweight. Ha 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 ha. Your gut sticking out. Ha 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 ha. That's a funny joke. That's not a joke, right? So you have to understand it's a balance. As you have to understand there's a difference between saying something that someone's going to find and deem to be disrespectful and just doing a lighthearted little tease of a joke that someone's just going to be able to laugh off, right? It also depends on, you have to feel out the other person's tolerance, because some people can tolerate really dark humor, right? And you can say the most craziest stuff and it'll just roll off their back. Some people, they are more sensitive. They can't tolerate humor that dark. So you have to be understanding of that. And if you are someone with really dark humor, I advise you to get with someone with dark humor, because you'll be very frustrated being with someone who has very sensitive humor and you're someone with very dark humor, because everything you say, you'll be like, why are you so butthurt all the time, right? And they'll be thinking, why are you such an a-hole all the time? So just be mindful of that's also a preference thing, and everyone's a little bit different in terms of what works best for them. I want to be received and receive queen treatment and not Chester treatment. Kindly advised to find a balance between playful and lighthearted while still being in my feminine energy. Also, for context, I already watched your shows on how to banter and be playful. They were good, and I'm trying to apply these teachings. As I said in the past, it's hard for me to be a black cat because at my core, I act like a white cat or a dog or a golden retriever. Is this bad? I want to be myself, but I want to receive princess/queen treatment. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a balance of understanding how to do it in a way that is not like you're a joke or you're the joke. And you also know how to be serious, and then also balancing what is that person's tolerance for humor in terms of like how dark can you go or how light must you go, okay? You also said happy early birthday. Hope it's special and you have lots of birthday pineapples. Chat, I will not be having pineapples on my birthday. What day is my birthday? Let me see. What day does that come up on the chart here? The 25th is actually a Friday. That's interesting. I could go out and do some stuff. I would not be having pineapples on my birthday. I'll tell you that much. Let's hop into our next question of the show. Let's see here. Okay. All right, we go. Do we do this one? I think we did not. Okay, so Mrs. Girly Girl, we'll do your question right now. Not me being clingy. Thompson, I love my boyfriend. Context me, I'm 26, him, 29. We were together since August 2024. We had ups and downs. We had our first fight after 4 months in. We resolved it, okay? Someone says, why won't you be having pineapples on your B-Day? You guys are too nosy. We are together since August 2024. We had ups and downs. We had our first fight after 4 months. We resolved it. As far as today, we are good. I've been following your tips since the beginning of my relationship. That's actually how I got him in the first place, by listening to you. Anyways, we had a good Valentine's Day and we did stuff together. I slept over at his place not more than 3 times a week. Wait, what? Tomisin, I've dated him from a detached standpoint, never showed no insecurities. I've always been very confident and secure within myself. However, I start getting more feelings, therefore I am naturally getting more anxious. I find myself being more jealous or insecure and pick on him. Even though I keep my black cat feminine energy for the most part, I do struggle sometimes due to the fact that I am a little more anxious. Some of you think that I'm not having pineapples because I'm single. You do realize it could have nothing to do with that, right? Or could it? You never know. Mind you, I'm a very confident person. I'm busy in with my in-person activities, schoolwork, and the gym. He is also my first relationship. Now that I'm getting more feelings, I find myself being more clingy. Ew, it's so unlike me. I'm also so needy. Oops, where'd I go? I lost my place. I'm also so needy of him, of his time, and needy of his attention. So, because I have more feelings, I have had a hard time trying to control myself and pace myself. I now want everything to happen quickly. Move in together. Oh, whoa. Slow your roll, Missy. Moving in together, getting proposed to. I gotta calm down. Slow your roll. I didn't show him that I was needy of him. I didn't tell him clingy stuff. Because I know I can't. Otherwise, it'll ruin the dream girl effect. It will. I'll just be honest with you. Plus, we all know that being clingy or needy doesn't work. It doesn't. I want to express all of these feelings to him, but something within me, is telling me not to do it. It's probably a version of me on your shoulder. How can I move forward and stay grounded and be less anxious? Also, I want him to propose to me within the next year. Oh my gosh. How can I make him propose to me in a subtle way? Being anxious can lead to me being hurt, and I can't feel this pain anymore. This weekend I had a family event. He met my big sister. She is my best friend, but I consider her like a sister. It went well, really well, actually. At this party, there was alcohol. Oh boy. He drinks, but I don't. Okay, good for you. And he drinks more. So he drank more, I think you might say, that night. So he was tipsy. When we left in the car, he got emotional. Come on. I don't co-sign drinking and driving. Come on, yo. I hope you mean you were driving, not he got drunk and then he's driving. Come on, yo. I don't advise that. Not safe. And got tears in his eyes. He gave me a kiss and said, "I can't believe we are going to get married." I got caught up off guard, I think you might say, and was surprised. So with that being said, I want to influence him to propose. He also discussed a lot with my friend while he was still sober, and he told her so many good things about us and me. Also, he knows I won't move in with him until we are engaged. This is my rule. He knows it, and he is okay with it. Okay, girly girl, slow your roll. Slow your roll. You're 26. He's 29. However, what I must say about men who are 29, age does not necessarily mean that he is ready financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually to be married. I just have to set that expectation for you because I don't know where he's at in his life. He could be in a place where he's not at all ready for marriage. Okay, I'm just being real with you. So for men in this stage, it's less about whether you're the right person and more about how prepared is he for marriage. Has he taken care of the things he needs to take care of? Is he responsible? Because see, this is the thing too. A lot of the men who are really scared of commitment also have a deeper understanding that they're not even responsible or reliable to themselves. So the idea of taking care of more than just themselves is really, really scary because they realize they're not even good at managing their own life. So if you don't feel confident in managing your own life, how scary will it be to be responsible for your woman, at least not her entire life, but having to lead her, give her direction, and then eventually children after that. But like that's really scary if you're not, if you're not in that mental headspace, right? So the reason I say that is because you also need to realize whether or not he's even there mentally himself. He could want to be in a relationship with you, but saying that he wants to get ready to get married and move in together is two totally different things. I'm not saying that he's a good or bad person, just based on whether or not he wants to marry you right now. But what I'm saying is he just might not be like, hey, like today or tomorrow, I've saved up enough money to marry you, right? And do everything that we want to do. Because also factor in this. I'll just let this sit with you. Marriage is a thing in itself, but like there's also like the financial and logistical side to marriage. For most men, what do they say? You spend $20, 20% of your salary. Does he have a salary at 29? What is his salary at 29? Can he afford to save 20% of his salary to just put towards a ring? That will be nice enough that you'll feel, nice and special and amazing when he gets you that ring. Can he afford to spend money on a wedding, not flying out your family, but having your family there, having his family there, all that other stuff? That's going to cost like a good solid wedding these days. We live in 2025, inflation crazy. Good solid wedding these days. Tell me in the chat if I'm off. $10K at least. You want to have a good solid wedding, good memories with both sides of the family there. $10K minimum you drop in for a good sized wedding, okay? So these are the type of things that it's like marriage is awesome and it's great and it's amazing. But like also there's a planning factor to marriage. It's not just, let's just go to Las Vegas and get married. That's not, because I know that's not what you want either, right? You don't just want to go to Las Vegas and get married on a whim. You want to feel special. You want to have your special day. You want to be able to go and flex on the gram. Oh, look at that 4 carat ring. Oh, right? Princess cut, right? You want to be able to flex, right? VVS quality. Oh my gosh, you blinded by the light, right? It's okay. You want that flex, but then also understand like that takes some planning, right? It's not just, wake up and we're ready for that tomorrow, right? So if he has a plan, If he's where he wants to be, or at least he knows where, how to get there, and he's like, hey, maybe I'm not ready to get married, right here today, but I'm definitely working towards that. And I know in the next 2 years, I'll be in the proper place to be able to get married, or at least, I'll be there, I'm working there every single day. And that's something that I want for both of us. At least then you can work with that. But I don't want you to get into a place where the only thing you're focused on is marriage, but then you're never thinking about the logistics, because you have to remember, for men, they have to deal with the logistics side. Right. And that can become very stressful for men. So you don't want to add the pressure of being like, hey, I haven't even thought of the logistics side, but let's get married. And then he's thinking to himself, I have to spend $10K on a freaking wedding, and I have to find another 10, 20K to spend on a nice ring. Well, 10K. Okay. Right. To spend on a nice ring. Right. So that's stressful for men. So I'm not saying that you should ignore everything that you want, ignore all the things that you want about getting married and push that to the side. I'm not saying that. But just understand, in the process of getting married, there's a planning segment of it. There's an organization segment of it. There's a talk. There's just lots of discussion. How many months have you guys been dating? Since August 2024. So we're about to get into 1 year of you guys being together in August of 2025. We're not even yet at 1 year. Still so much conversation for you guys to have about, okay, after you get married, what does life look like after marriage? How do you want to be as a husband? How do you want to be as a father? How do you want to raise children? Like, a lot of conversations that you need to have about the logistical side of everyday life when married, that you should be having before getting married. A lot of things you still need to discover and see. I'm a big proponent of, you need at least 2 years seeing someone on a regular basis, seeing how they are, seeing the cycles that they'll go through, seeing the stages that they'll go through, before you can really make a choice about what that person is going to be like for the rest of your life, right? That's when you know the consistent patterns that you've seen from them, you know them well, okay? And that's assuming in the 2 years, you've been able to see them like consistently. Not like you're dating someone for 2 years and you're long distance and you see them for 3 weeks out of the entire year. That I don't even think is enough, right? You really need to see someone go through all of their different stages and feel their energy in person for an extended period of time. That's my whole I guess we could say theory towards that, or that's my whole viewpoint towards that. I like 2 years is what makes me feel comfortable before I could say I really, really understand someone at least decently well enough to like marry them or consider marrying them. Okay, let's go into our next question. Our next question comes from Rando like Rondo. Told me I need to lose weight. Okay. I met a guy and he was chasing me. We met in his country because I am a digital nomad. For those of you who don't know what that means, it just means that you like to move around a lot, okay? You don't like to stay in any one place at a time. There was great chemistry, and because I was leaving in a few days, I went for it. He came to see me a few days later to the city 5 hours away. I wanted him to put forth the effort, so I let him pay all travel for, So I let him pay all travel, far, etc., hotel to, sorry, I'm just getting mixed up with all what you're just saying here. As we had 2 rooms, so basically he kept giving me compliments about my looks, hair, face, boobies, etc. And then he started mentioning how he is fat. He gained 10 kg, and what's 10 kg in pounds, chat? And needs to lose it. I didn't even notice until he mentioned. Then I saw a bit of a belly. He is breathing heavily. How big is he? I got scared for him. His dad had a heart attack at 52. He is 34, so losing would be good. Okay. So he kept asking me if he is fat. I said, honestly, he is not. I was attracted to him. I said, but I have to lose, I think you meant say lose weight. He said, a diet is always good. And when I left this country, we kept contact and started making plans to meet. But he said, I finally started my diet. I said, cool. He said, what about you? I said, I will do it too. He said, both of us need to diet. Then a few days later, he asked me if I started. I said yes again. Said we both need to lose. I was annoyed. I told him, I want to lose for me, but this is making me bad, like you're not attracted to me. Feel bad, I think you might say. He said, if I don't like you and am not attracted to you, I tell you this honestly. Don't be so sensitive. I said, why didn't you approach someone thin then? He said he usually does. But he liked my pretty face and my personality. That I'm very pretty. I said, well, find someone who is everything. Pretty, thin, personality. I got upset and sent him many messages as it was 2 a.m. I was sleepy and more sensitive. He didn't reply much. He just said, I need to lose. You're okay. I asked how much I have to lose. He said, minimum 10 kg. So minimum 22 pounds. Like him. I don't want to lose, but I didn't expect him to mind it so much when he was the one chasing me like a maniac, saying he likes my XL boobs and ass. Why did you say XL boobs and ass? Like, why did you say that like that? Sorry, so this is some sort of continuation. Yeah, later he told me he would marry me if I lost 10 kg because I am a perfect package in that case. While I am definitely motivated to lose weight, I didn't want to tell him much because he makes it sound like it's for him without even me opening up that I'm unhappy with my weight. I ghosted him. I'm so baffled as we had a good time and the weight comment isn't even the worst. He was like, when I had pneumonia, 11 days flu, he was like, you talk about illness a lot. And I couldn't leave the house, very bored. I just replied, I have the flu, when he asked, what are you doing? So over and over, insensitive and uncaring. Now I ghosted him. Of course, 5 days later, he is wondering where I am. I didn't reply and won't reply anymore. So I guess this is not really a question. Here's the thing. I'll tell you this, Rando. Understand something very important. The same way that there are certain men with the preference of having a thin woman, trust me, I know some of you find it very hard to believe, right? Because we see all supermodels all look, very similar. But there are men also with the preference of a bigger woman. Just ask any skinny Jamaican man. Ask any of them, okay? There are definitely different preferences of sizes and shapes of women. And there are some men, ask the skinny Jamaican men, that actually prefer their women to be larger and heavier set. They'll actually start looking at you weird and strange if you're trying to go to the gym too much, trying to lose too much weight. Because they want you to be, like you said with the XL boob, the XL yitties and the XL ass, they like that. There's some guys, they like that. Yeah. They like that for sure. And trust me, I'm telling you from knowing guys who they're into that, and then also having guys some guys just have that preference, right? One thing you'll find too is a lot of times people like what they're not. So the really skinny guys will have, call it a fetish, a fantasy, a kink, or whatever you want to call it. They'll just be into women who are bigger. And then you'll have, I guess, bigger guys who can sometimes be into more petite women. Just they like the opposite. There's just, it just works that way. So don't ever forget that there is really a preference for everything. So don't ever think to yourself that like, oh, just because I'm this way, that no man will ever love me or find me attractive. Trust me, there's as long as having I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you this as a guy. Having a pretty face will actually solve majority of your problems. Having a pretty face and you don't even have to look like a supermodel. If you have a pretty face and good proportions, I'll say it like that, you will have no problem getting men. So I don't know, maybe some of y'all have it confused, misinterpret some things and things like that. A pretty face with good proportions, which just means a good waist to hip ratio, which you can work on. You don't have to lose 80 pounds to have a nice hip to waist ratio. I promise you, you will attract men with just those two things, pretty face and a good ratio. That's all you really need. And there will be in every room you walk into, there will be at least a few guys that are attracted to you, very attracted to you. It's not a miss right there. So those are really the two main things. If you guys are ever wondering about what guys are into, what they like, if you just focus on those two things, you'll be perfectly fine. Okay. I honestly promise you'll be perfectly fine. Let's do one more. Let's see if we could do one more. Let's see. We'll try and get one more in here. Okay. Did I? No, we can't do this one. We just did this one. Andy. Is this the free side? It is. Hoping I posted this in the free side. I have a question for you, Tomisin. You are the big brother I've never had, and I appreciate for the advice and for the insight that you provide. Thank you so much. I want to preface this by saying I genuinely hope this isn't offensive. Oh, okay. You've stated multiple times that you are a player and have done some of these things to women. However, I'm wondering if it ever hits you that you have hurt and scarred some women. Of course. I get that we are responsible for the way a man treats us, but I think that is genuinely letting men off the hook. It's basically the same excuse as saying she was asking for it. Did you see her short skirt? I'm also wondering if all men, if put in a position to be abusive towards women, would be just because they saw an opportunity. Let me see here. No, I don't necessarily think that. See, here's the thing. When I say men are opportunists, I don't mean men are opportunists from the standpoint of they will like endanger you or, put you and force you against your will to extract something out of you that you would never or otherwise regularly give. That's not what type of opportunist that I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is when they recognize that someone is unwilling to have self-respect for themselves and they're making a choice to disrespect themselves. The reason I say that becomes an opportunity because men aren't going to go out of their way to say, hey, Missy, you're beautiful, intelligent, smart, capable of so much more. You should stand up for yourself, have boundaries, have self-respect, and not allow me to do things where I'm getting so much out of this situation and you're not getting anything, right? They're not going to hold you against your will, but they're also not going to sit there and baby you and tell you how you should know that and realize that you deserve better. Why? Because it serves them in that moment. And when I say that, I think that sometimes you guys hear that and be like, oh my gosh, well, the men are so evil and the men are so bad and the men are so this and the men are so that. But the reality of it is most of us in this world, just the honest reality, if we came across someone that was literally asking us and willing to allow us to take advantage of them, most of us would be like, well, if you're going to offer me to take advantage of you in a way that I deem to be kind of harmless, then sure, why not? The same way, and I'm not saying that all women would do this, but the same way, let's say a man came up to you and he was like, kind of nerdy, kind of a little bit, shy, kind of not your type, but he was like, look, I want to court you. I want to take you out. I want to do this for you. I want to fly you out. I want to fly you to Miami. I want to pay for your Ubers. I want to pay for your food. Please don't ever buy any other dress. I'm going to buy you all your dresses. I'm going to take you shopping. And you're sitting there like, I know this guy's not my type. He's not the typical guy I would go for. It's not that he's unattractive to me. He's just not really like, I'm not super over the moon about him, but he's really trying to impress me. Is it a lot that he's doing for me? Yes. Is it going to really persuade me to probably want to date him? Probably not. Am I still willing to accept some of his advances, even though I know it's probably not going to end in me being with him? I'll accept. We'll see what he has to offer, right? And It's the same idea, right? It's not about like, oh, I want to be evil to that person and I want to make sure they get nothing out of it. It's more or less like, hey, if that person is offering themselves to me and that person is not willing to do their due diligence and ask themselves important questions like, hey, do I like them back? Hey, am I really going to invest in them too? Hey, is this beneficial for both of us? Hey, am I being used here? Am I going to stop to think if I'm being used, or am I just going to go along with it? Those people get taken advantage of. And that's not just in romance, that's in life. People who are too naive to see the truth or ask themselves more questions or stand up for themselves in general, they get taken advantage of in business, in friendships, in family situations, at work, all throughout every aspect of life. People who let themselves be a doormat get taken advantage of like a doormat. So you can't think of it like, oh, it's just the men who take advantage of women and they're blaming the women and things like that. Everybody who allows themselves to be a doormat gets taken advantage of in life. There are men who get taken advantage of by other men by getting scammed by those men, right? They'll be like, hey, I've got this magic potion, this magic pill that will take you from 0 to a millionaire in one day. And I promise you, if you just invest your last $1,000 in this amazing scheme, that's not a Ponzi scheme, you'll literally take all of your broke boy dreams and you'll live this reality of an luxurious, wealthy millionaire. And those men that don't know any better, that don't understand, hey, life doesn't work like that. You're not just going to come across an opportunity of a lifetime for free. No one's just going to give you a handout of $1 million and change your life for no reason, right? The men who don't ask themselves questions, the men who are too naive, the men who are doormats, the men who just let people tell them anything and believe them the first time they say it, those men get taken advantage of, and they get taken advantage of by other men. So it's not just a man to woman thing. It's not just a woman to woman thing or a woman to man thing. It's an everyone to everyone thing, right? So part of being in the Players Club is understanding that in life, people will take advantage of you if you allow them to take advantage of you. But it's your choice whether you want to get taken advantage of or not. Now, obviously, when we're more naive, it's harder to realize what's happening. But our responsibility is, as we grow and mature as human beings, to take notice of the times we messed up or allowed someone to take advantage of that, learn from that lesson, and then put ourselves in a better place to not have that happen again. You guys do realize I've been taken advantage of, right? Like, I'm a man. There's different times in my life where I was very naive, and still to this day, there's different elements and aspects of life in which I'm naive or unsure, and I don't know things. And I don't have the knowledge or the insight, right? Or the wisdom. And so in those places or those areas of life, I can get taken advantage of, right? Maybe in relationships, I've learned a lot and developed a lot, but there was a point in relationships in which I was naive too, and people took advantage of me. Maybe the way they took advantage of me was in a different way, but everyone gets taken advantage of when they're naive. And you learn, you grow, you adjust, you gain knowledge, and then you get better. Right? It's all about life. I like to think of life as being about choices. I don't like to live life from a victim standpoint. I think the moment you start living life thinking that you are a victim and life is just happening to you, then so shall it be. Life will just happen to you. You'll be a victim of your circumstances, and then you won't get anywhere. That's just it, really. Okay? Okay, chat. That is the show for today. I hope you guys all had a great time. I have so much energy. I could go for another 3-4. We won't do that though. I could go for a long time. Okay. For those of you who have questions for me, whether you want to ask your question in the free section, in the premium section, or in the private relationship advice section, you can ask those all to me that way. For those of you who want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just above my head on the top left corner of the screen. It's my name, Tomisin_Atobatele. It's also in my description if you're watching this on YouTube. Yeah, we'll do that like that, okay? For those of you who are wanting to rewatch the show because you missed any parts of it or you came late, it's just above my head. It's my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel, type in my name, Tomisin, and then you'll be able to find this YouTube video. If you go into the live section, you'll be able to find this live stream and all the other live streams I've done since the beginning of time. You'll see the YouTube chat in there and the TikTok chat embedded in the video, so you won't miss a second of conversation that I was having with all of you beautiful people on the show. I'm going to watch it back. I watch it back all the time. Oh, someone said I missed a super chat. Thank you. Madison says, I skipped your premium question. December 4th, your question was asked and it was premium. Why did that happen like that? What the heck? What? How did I miss that? Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do for you, Maddie. I don't know. Did you guys see that? That wasn't, maybe I'm tripping. Maddie, I'm going to send you a voice message. I'll put it in the reply of your question. So it'll be just like I responded to it on the show. And everyone will be able to see that. So if any of you want to see what my response is to Madison's question, because it's a long one, I will respond to that literally in the next couple of hours by the end of today. And I will give you a voice message in there. It'll be available for everyone to listen to in the Discord. Okay, Madison? So thank you for your donation and thank you for your question. I'll make sure to get to that literally tonight. Okay, don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. I won't forget. I won't forget. I won't forget. Okay, because I have to run somewhere. All right, chat. I'm here every Monday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll see you guys again. I'll see you guys before my birthday. I'll see you guys the day before my birthday. So the day before my birthday is the 24th, which is the Thursday, which is the next day that I'll be here live. Okay. So you guys can wish me a happy birthday on the day before as well. Okay. I'll see you on Thursday. Until we meet again. Hasta la vista, sayonara, arrivederci, adios. I already said sorry now. Ciao, salam. Hasta la vista. Bounty. Bon voyage, and I'll see you again on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully I'm there on time. I should be, hopefully. Okay, bye. See you later. See you later.